PC fam, what's going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in this beautiful world. We have a special guest, Damian Peters, here again. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What's up? What's good with y'all?
Running good, brother. Running good.
As we all know, yesterday, Slovenia was knocked out of the EuroBasket by none other than my favorite to win, Germany. Now, fellas, I have a question for you because it's been going around that if Germany can succeed in winning this EuroBasket tournament, that none other than Dennis Schroder will be making a heck of a case for a Hall of Fame jacket sometime in the future. How do we feel about that, and is that even possible?
Really? Well, let's see. He was FIBA Player of the Year, I think, last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was FIBA Player of the Year last year. Steve Kerr loves him. He talks about Dennis Schroder in the FIBA tournament all the time and how much he just kicks Team USA's ass. And I mean, I don't know how true that is, but a Hall of Fame jacket, maybe. I mean, I don't know if his NBA career is good enough for a Hall of Fame to add to the Hall of Fame, because I know it's the Basketball Hall of Fame, but whatever he's done in FIBA, I mean, I think that may be the only thing that you can really make a case for, because Swiper, to be the FIBA Player of the Year, I mean, I think that's a pretty big deal to be able to do that, and to win the FIBA World Championships, which is what Germany did. I think they won the bronze. No, they were in the gold. They were in the bronze medal game in last year in the Olympics. With that being said, I mean, he's put together a pretty good international career. Yes, he has. I don't know about Hall of Fame, though. I think that's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, it's great. You know, he's been the third best player on his team over this run, but he's played really well. I think Dennis Schroeder's a great basketball player, but yeah, I think that's going to be really tough for him to be able to make a Naismith Hall of Fame off of just that. There have been some international players that have not played in the NBA to make it, but these are like some of the greatest players of all time that's ever walked the face of the earth that made it. So I don't know if Dennis would qualify for that. I think that he's a really good basketball player. I think he got Laker taxed to a degree when he didn't get the big contract, and then he kind of drifted a little bit around the league. But every time he's gone somewhere, he's been a productive player. You know, our friend Jordan, you know, believes that he was the unquestionable, like he's a great starting guard. He thought he was better than Derek White. And I think if you just look in a vacuum at like some of the stuff he does with the ball, and even like yesterday when you watch the game, like the off-ball reset three he had in the corner after Luka made the deep three. I mean, it's just that kind of stuff he does. He's a really good ball handler. He's extremely fast. He's very strong. There's not many 6'1" guards that you can find in the NBA. And I'm thinking like Davion Mitchell is like the best of that group. Obviously TJ McConnell, but Dennis Schroder is like one of the only small players in the league that is a positive defender because of how much effort he's willing to put in on every possession. And even yesterday, and Ox, this is how much I like Dennis Schroder. When Luka was mismatch hunting him, I still was fine with it. You know, I think that like Luka was, you know, he's gonna cook. It's Luka. Luka looked phenomenal this whole tournament. But when Dennis is on him, I know Dennis is going to be sound. And what Dennis is going to do, he's going to keep his hands out of the cookie jar. And you saw multiple times yesterday that that when Daniel Tice got switched on to him, or, you know, even like Tristan Da Silva, if you don't have like, and then it's Mogba, it's his last name, Ox, number 10 for Germany, the tall,
Mogba. Yes,
the tall is in the chat. If it's Mogba, is that how you say his name?
Yes.
Okay. Now, he's a crazy athlete, Jill. I actually thought he played really good defense. But, like, the issue is like, if you're just not disciplined, then you're going to get in a lot of foul trouble. And so you also remember, y'all, Dennis Schroder, the reason why his reputation defensively got knocked because of one series when he was guarding Jamal Murray in the 2023. And when Murray was like,
which everybody had trouble with him.
Everybody had trouble with Jamal that year.
Dennis Schroder got the brunt of it because what
he was the main defender on him.
Yes.
And he was everybody 32, 50, 40, 90. And so everybody kind of like,
that
right.
Season.
And so Dennis then Lakers fans were like, oh, Dennis is boom, boom, boom. I'm like, I don't even think that was like, Dennis was there. It's just Jamal didn't see anybody for, you know, basically half of that playoff run. But I thought Dennis was crazy yesterday. I thought that Germany looked good yesterday. Honestly, and for them to come back, and again, shout out to my dog, University of Colorado, Tristan Da Silva, Ox. Like, I think, again, you're talking about players that can make a real impact this year. We talked about Şengün and all that, but if we're going a role player route, I think Jonas Valanciunas is Jonas. Like, he had 25 and 12 versus Greece the other day in a loss.
Right.
But I think that, like, players like Tristan that are super young, that are still figuring their way out in basketball, and the same thing I said with Josh Giddey last year in Australia. Then he comes to the Bulls, and first half of the year doesn't look great, but then the next half, I thought he was really good. I think Tristan's going to be another one of those players that got so much experience through this run, and it's going to make a meaningful impact on how good he is coming up this next year.
Ox, if I didn't watch basketball before, because it took the international game for me to understand it, and I definitely want to stay on the Dennis Schroder point, but it took the international game for me to understand it. If I don't watch the NBA and I'm just getting introduced to basketball and I'm getting introduced through the EuroBasket tournament, I'm telling my friends, yo, Germany got this guy on their team. His name is Franz Wagner. He is awesome. I don't know who y'all dudes is watching in the tournament, but they got this one guy, this German guy named Franz Wagner. One, I didn't know he was that good. And I knew he was, but watching him in the international game, his game just gets so much more expanded. They use him way more in different spaces. They use him more in pick and pop. They use him more in stretching the defense. They use him more in pick and dive. They use him more on the box. I love that about his game. They use him more in transition. And Franz Wagner is one of the better transition players in the game. But I think that Dennis Schroder, back to the point of Dennis Schroder, I think Dennis Schroder, his game is more tailor-made for the international game. It works in the pros. I'm not going to argue that point, Swiper. I do think that it works in the pros, but I think in the international game, his game is more tailor-made. As a smaller guard, he looks to screen a lot more. He looks to slip screens a lot more. As a ball handler, he is setting up guys, and he's looking for the right play as opposed to in the NBA where, you know, if guys aren't scoring, you aren't effective. And I think Dennis Schroder does that a lot more in the international game than he does in the NBA. That's why I think his game is more effective in the international game.
Yeah, and he's always been a guy as well who you always felt that if he had a bigger role in a team, his numbers would be a lot better. He probably has a better reputation. The Lakers stuff with him was absolutely real. Swiper, that what you mentioned, that was absolutely real. His reputation took a hit. And also in 2021 against the Suns, when they got bounced from the playoffs and he refused to shoot the ball, he got killed online for that. And it really affected his reputation. But like you said, Chill, his game's tailor-made for the international game. It's grimy. He gets down and dirty, does the little things. And let's be honest, he's one of the all-time great international players, especially for Germany. He's played Bundesliga as well. He's had a pretty illustrious career from the international stage. And there's a whole cohort of fans right now who forget that Dennis Schroder sort of replaced Jeff Teague in Atlanta all those years ago. And they put their faith in Dennis Schroder to lead that franchise as their lead guard on the back end of sort of Jeff Teague's best days. So like he's had some years in the league, Schroder, but he's always been a guy that's accepted the role. But if he had a bigger role, he's always felt like he could have put up way bigger numbers. And we see it when Germany put the ball in his hand. Hall of Fame, though. I think Hall of Fame was stretching it, though.
I think that's
I think so. I think so too. I just want to say I did agree with Jordan that I think Dennis Schroder is better than Derek White. I think as an overall just basketball player, just from the standpoint that Jordan was talking about, I completely felt where he was coming from, and I agree. I think Dennis Schroder is one of those guys that he plays a big role, but since he's not a superstar, he kind of gets looked over.
Is it because of the stuff that he does, Ox? I mean, when I say the stuff that he does, is it the stuff that he does without the ball? Because I think that Derek White without the ball, I think that he does a lot of good things. And I also think that he does a lot of good things on defense when his man doesn't have the ball, right? So when I think about a guy being not necessarily a star, but when I think about a guy being a major cog in the unit, I look at what exactly you do when you don't have the ball in your hands. I look at what you do on defense when the ball is not around you, how you're affecting the game. Because guys like Dennis Schroder being smaller, okay, as an on-ball defender, Dennis Schroder is not bad. I think he's a good on-ball defender. But stuff like off-ball screening, getting around screens, because teams hunt smaller guys. That's 100% what they do. And guys like Dennis Schroder, you have to be able to navigate screens. You have to be able to get around screens. You have to be able to close out the right way. I feel like Derek White, being a bigger guy, I think he uses that to his advantage. And that's why I think that him being better than Dennis Schroder, I think that's where that space is.
Yeah, I hear that. I mean, Derek White's one of those guys you can plug in. You could plug him into a lot of different teams, and I think that is shows a lot of value for Derek White. So that's not a knock to Derek White. I think Derek White's an amazing basketball player.
I mean, I think the problem with Derek White, though, is Derek White's been in such a positive situation that I think people are to undermine his scoring value when he's been asked to be a primary ball handler. Because you got to remember, too, Locks, there was what chilled at the championship year. It was December when he was player of the month in the Eastern Conference. It was December or it was like January where he got player of the week for sure. I know he was up for player of the month. He didn't win. So I can remind me if you're a Celtics fan in the chat. But Derek has gone on these runs where he's been like 25-5, insane guard defense, good rim protection, and super efficient. I think the issue with Derek is if Derek was in a situation where he was asked to do that more, I personally believe that he would be able to be at like more consistently. But I do think that Dennis Schroder is a very good player. I think Derek does have a lot of upside to his game. As good of an on-ball defender as Dennis is, I think the thing is both of them are really good technicians. But I think maybe Derek White for me is like because he's bigger and longer. Because he also is very technically sound. There are just some upside that he has that Dennis doesn't have. He just is more stable versus bigger players.
And he can shoot the hell out of the ball as well.
He's a great shooter. Honestly, another thing, he's an elite clutch player as well. Like if you remember the playoffs last year versus the Knicks, like it was Derek that was kind of bringing those games back into the balance. Well, Drench's point to Derek White is it's a lot less difficult to get busy on a crew when you want a crew as opposed to when you're not. It's a lot less difficult to look like a really good player when you playing with a bunch of really good players as opposed to when you playing with some players that are marginal. And I think that maximizing Dennis Schroder is what Dennis Schroder does. I think that we maximize Derek White, right? I think and I don't want to get off the point of what's going on with the EuroBasket tournament. I think we maximize Derek White, but I think it gets magnified because he's on a really good team. I think that's what it is more than anything. Can't hear you, Drenchy.
I mean, they both play for the Celtics, so I mean, it's just fit. Sometimes it's fit. Like sometimes Dennis Schroder might take a little bit longer to fit to rather than Dennis being a plug and play. Like not Dennis, Derek White being plug and play. Like Derek White's game, you can just plug and play him because he's primarily an off-ball player. I know y'all like to think, he's good in pick and roll. Yeah, of course he is. But he's primarily an off-ball player. Like,
is it okay if I give a small pushback to that and disagree? Because I actually think he's actually been a very good on-ball guard. But to your point, I think the situation also is like really helped that being with the Celtics.
Yeah, but Drench's point is that he primarily plays off the ball. It's not that he doesn't play.
I'm not saying he's not a good
ball.
But remember, I made the argument to you that I think he was their best on-ball playmaker over the stretch of the season last year for stretches, and it was the year before when they won the championship. Because I brought up a lot of the numbers with him, the efficiency out of the pick and roll, the efficiency out of the passing, the scoring on the pull-up stuff, the driving stuff with him. I mean, like I said, there's a level and I think to George's point, Dennis is a traditional point guard, and I don't mean that like he's a traditional scoring point guard. He's more of a scorer than he is like maybe a facilitator. But Dennis is like he can get you in and out of a set. Derek can also do that, but I think what people are missing about Derek White is his scoring value. Jordan, I would say he has more scoring upside as a scorer consistently than Dennis does, and I think people are just more so lost in the Celtics scheme, and they kind of miss on how good he's actually been as an on-ball scorer with the Celtics on a more consistent basis. It's just they shoot so many threes,
I mean, for sure. I don't know if he has more upside than Dennis is scoring the ball. As far as if you put the ball in both of their hands and you say like Chill was making point of the crew you on. Like Dennis can get you a 30-point game too. Obviously if you told him just go out there and score, like. And I'm not saying that that's what Derek White's game is, but I would assure you that the Celtics is not looking for Derek White to say, Derek, run the team offense.
Well, they did. They did ask him to do that, though.
No, yeah, but I'm not saying that. But when I say that, I mean as far as like it comes with Derek White playing, but they're not looking for Derek to get guys in and out of sets. Like it's like, okay, he can do it, great. Mm-hmm. But Dennis on the other end is, if Dennis came out there and shot every shot and didn't really pass it, like he probably wouldn't be in the NBA for a long time.
It would look really bad.
He would look really bad. Like Dennis's job is to actually play point guard. Like, for example, what you said about him being a traditional point guard. I really think he's a traditional point guard. I know he scores well too, but he raises the floor as a point guard better than Derek White raises the floor as a point guard.
Can I bring this to your table?
On a lower tier team, though.
But can I respond to this though? Like when I look up their play type grades, and I know like this is more so like how they're measured at, like what they do. Obviously, Dennis is going to be listed as an all ball. You know, Derek, his primary role chill in terms of his offensive archetype, it's a primary ball handler. So like because of how much he's actually on the ball in the system, and again, like we got to remember, like they're getting in and out of play options, especially as like on dive plays to get more 3-point opportunities. Again, they shot over half their shots from 3, so it's a different type of on ball. Like it's not like a traditional I'm James Harden and I'm getting a pick and roll and there's a roller with Zubac or something like that. You know, he's obviously like he's getting the ball like to different players. But if you look at like a lot of his playmaking stuff, like I think, and again, I didn't mean to make this about Derek, but more so just about I think Dennis and Derek are comparable, but I think Derek offers some upside here. But I think Dennis, for $15 million for Sacramento Kings, I'll say it like this, I think he's going to be really good with them next year. That'd be the best point guard they've had in a while. Outside, obviously, De'Aaron Fox is really good. I think that's going to really help their lineups, especially, but it's going to be tough figuring out Dennis, Zach LaVine, and DeRozan and just how they're going to make all those minutes work, because between those players, Dennis is probably, I don't want to say by far, but he's the best defender between those 3 players.
Well, with
so
that being
making
said,
it work with the
they also got some interest in like Russ trying to move Malik. Maybe it's pretty crowded in the backcourt. It's really strange, to be honest.
I don't think that they're doing that. But to your point, Swiper, to your point, he really fits well with this German team and the stuff that he does with this German team. It just works. And I look at this team from top, not necessarily like 9, 10, 11, but like their first 6, 7 guys. I mean, they got a really good team. I even forgot there was a stretch where I forgot Tristan De Silva played for the German national team. I forgot he was on the crew. They got a really good team, man. Really good team.
To the point of Derek kind of making they're a really good team for sure. Derek is just the perfect, what Chill like to call the perfect table setter for that team, like the perfect one for that team. Like sometimes, you know, Franz and them can't get you a bucket. Dennis can get you a bucket. Sometimes, you know, you need Dennis to push the pace and get the ball to the right players. Dennis can make every pass that you need him to make. There's no limit.
Guy. I call him their utility guy. That's
100%.
Whatever you need to get done, he'll do that.
He
does all of that stuff.
But to Swiper's point, I don't want to make, you know, because I know somebody will say, well, you say Derek White's not good on ball. It's not what I'm saying. To Swiper's point, Derek's great on ball as a pick and roll ball handler is better than Dennis's. Number one, because he's played it in a role a little bit more with the Celtics. They probably get more possessions. That's number one. Number two, Dennis came off the bench with Detroit. So if you want to combine Detroit, if you want to just take Detroit, Dennis' grade is still good. Derek White's grade is just very good. But I can also give you the pushback as far as scoring. Isolation, Dennis' grade is what I think excellent. And Derek White's grade in isolation is average. So you kind of give or take with one of whichever
there's stuff that Derek White is really good at that Dennis Schroder isn't good at. And then there's stuff that Dennis Schroder is really good at that Derek White isn't as good at.
Yeah.
Like, for example, to your point, isolation player. I think Dennis Schroder is a really good one-on-one guy.
He's an excellent grade at that. He's an excellent grade in isolation. Excellent grade.
But I think Derek White is a better catch. I think Derek White is a better catch and shoot guy than Dennis Schroder.
You're right, Derek.
With that Boston Celtic offense, it works. It looks even better.
Look, Chill. You are right. Derek's White grade in catch and shoot is excellent. Dennis Schroder grade in catch and shoot is very good. So you're on the same. You're pretty much on the same thing. It's just all about. We're going to go down to the metrics now. Derek is bigger. He can defend better. You can plug and play him better. So for a team, you just want to throw somebody in there, you probably want to throw Derek White in there. But if you say, we need to turn this around, we missing something. Like we can't win games late. Dennis can be that guy. And I feel like that's why the Kings gave him $15 million a year. Like, I just feel like the Kings felt like they were missing something. They needed a point guard. They needed somebody to, table set to go alongside Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. And Dennis Schroder is the perfect guard for that, in my opinion. I've been pushing Dennis Schroder narratives for like the last couple of years now. So
watching that.
Let me ask y'all this. If if Dennis Schroder, now this is far-fetched, y'all, but just bear with me. If Dennis Schroder can accomplish what some think is the impossible with us in Sacramento, would that get him in the Hall of Fame?
What is he accomplishing in Sacramento?
Is he Finals MVP?
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Just making a playoff?
Yeah, no.
All right. I'm gonna leave it alone.
To your point, if the Sacramento Kings end up in the NBA championship off the strength of Dennis Schroder, and they win the NBA championship off the strength of Dennis Schroder, considering what he did in the international game, yeah,
and they win EuroBasket, maybe.
Yeah, he already. Okay, so they won the FIBA World Championships. They ended up in the bronze medal game. I think they're gonna win the EuroBasket tournament. On top of that, him playing in the NBA and getting to the NBA championship with the Kings and winning the NBA championship and winning the Finals MVP. Yes.
Nah, if he won a championship with the Kings, you can book it. I don't think he needs to do that. Like at that point, they gonna start talking about Dennis Schroder and the light down. I ain't even gonna.
First off, if they got a championship with the Kings, there's gonna be a statue of Dennis, Zach, DeRozan, Keegan Murray, and Sabonis. They're gonna be. It's gonna be the Showtime Lakers. Hey, Jordan, they're gonna be action filled just like this. Right in front of the beam, and then it'll be a purple beam right behind them.
Yeah.
Well, DeMontis deserves a statue regardless.
A statue.
I don't think Big Ox. I don't think they need.
D-Bock ain't even got a statue.
As far as Hall of Fame, Dennis' chances on Hall of Fame.
Matter of fact, you asked me, Sabonis ain't getting no statue before Brad Miller. I'll tell you that right now.
Whatever. But
shout out Brad Miller.
but yeah, as far as Dennis making a Hall of Fame, it's overall basketball Hall of Fame. He does have a phenomenal FIBA, an international resume, especially you win the EuroBasket tournament. What he did in the FIBA, winning that, he does have a phenomenal record. His NBA career is solid. It's solid. Hall of Fame is a little, I don't know. It just depends on what you value. It's kind of hard to make. I can't for sure say he's a Hall of Fame player, but I do know he's had a solid NBA career. It's very, very overlooked because he's bounced around from team to team.
Yeah, but he's been good everywhere, though. He's been good everywhere except probably Boston. Except in Boston, he was coming off the bench.
The Warriors.
In Boston, he was, I think in Boston, that was a mental thing. After leaving that money on the table and then how everything worked out from there, I think he was kind of out of it, and rightfully so. I probably would have took a minute for me to bounce back too.
He was trash with the Warriors too because they don't play that. They don't play his style. Like the Warriors, just not that style of player.
Think about who he is though. In the resume that you brought up, but in the FIBA World Championships, in FIBA, okay, that's different from who he is in the league. Okay, so in the league, what is Dennis Schroder? Dennis Schroder's a rotation guy. He's not your starting league guard. He's not your guy that he's running the offense. No,
he's gonna be for the Kings.
Bench. He's the dude. I'm talking about in his heyday, like when Dennis Schroder was Dennis Schroder, right? He was one of the better rotation guys in the game. So if that's true, when you think about the best rotation players in the game, like where would you put Dennis Schroder when it comes to Manu Ginobili? How about Vinnie Johnson? Okay,
no,
I'm talking about rotation players.
No, we don't got to put him in that conversation
because we talking about Hall of Fame. That's what we talking about. We talking about being a Hall of Fame caliber player.
You got to put him in a conversation like Lou Wills, Jamal Crawford.
Okay, so where does he stack up with those guys? Like, where does
look at the super chat right here, chill. The super chat right here is asking. Medved wants to know: is Dennis Schroder one of the best NBA journeymen? He's been on a bunch of teams, so maybe and mind you, I don't think Dennis Schroder is a Hall of Famer. That's just a conversation that's been going around the internet. So that's why we're talking about that, chat. But maybe we should take it down a notch and let's ask: is Dennis Schroder one of the best NBA journeymen we've ever seen?
For sure. I think he's right there with Lou Will, Jamal Crawford. Who's another journeyman that's made super impact?
Jim Jackson.
I ain't putting Dennis with
wait, hold on. Which player would you rather have on if you were Houston right now? Lou, Jamal, or Dennis?
I'll give you an order. Lou. I would probably have Lou first, Dennis second, Jamal Crawford third.
You ain't
Lou Williams. Dennis Schroder over Jamal Crawford. Wow.
Yeah. What? He's a better playmaker. He's a better playmaker for sure. And Jamal is a better scorer, but Dennis can score too with the volume that they're going to get in Houston. It's not like we just
boy, Lou
Jamal
will
here. Go ahead, get us 40. It's not
Lou will hunt it in 2025 like he was in 2020. Woo! Them minutes got nasty in the bubble. Chill.
But Dennis
you know whose minutes didn't get nasty?
Hold on, Chill. They was looking at him and they was talking about. I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Luka did that to everybody.
Luka, I'm talking about Murray. You want to talk about what Murray was doing him worse than he was doing Dennis. Lou's a horrible defender though, bro. He can't guard nothing.
Okay,
he can't guard a shadow.
But you put him on this Houston team though. This Houston team that got all the defense.
Jamal do that to everybody. I ain't really seen too many defenders give Jamal crazy problems. The thing that gives Jamal problems is, boy, some days he on and some days he not. We don't know what Jamal we get, but Jamal.
I know we getting buckets from Jamal.
But I'll say this: I think Dennis a better international player than both of them would have been.
Oh, that's a fact. Well, that's a fact. I mean,
but Dennis has a lead
game though.
But Dennis has a lead guard. Dennis as a lead guard in Atlanta was averaging nearly 20 points a game.
Yeah,
he did do that. Yes, he did do that.
So
and
that's not nothing.
As a rotation guy, when he was in Oklahoma City, that was the year that they.
That was the year that
I might be in the minority. Drenchy, I might be in the minority. I thought they were going to be garbage that year. They end up making the playoffs with Chris Paul, and I thought they were going to be terrible. I did.
I knew they weren't going to be garbage.
I thought they were going to be garbage. And Dennis Schroder playing with Chris Paul, he was great. Absolutely great.
Chill. That's when like I always liked Dennis Schroder, even when he was with Atlanta. It solidified it for me when they were in Oklahoma City. Like that's when I was like, right then and there, I started saying, yeah, he's probably the best backup point guard in the NBA. He's probably the best rotation guard in the NBA. If you say he's not a starter, cool. But right there, when I saw him in Oklahoma City, able to play off the ball, on the ball with Chris Paul, I was like, yeah. My fandom for Dennis took it up there at that point. But
the more I watch the EuroBasket tournament, and I was watching that game yesterday between Slovenia and Germany. I just think Germany is the best team in the tournament, man. I just think that everything that they do on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, it looks like a bank vault when Luka's trying to get to the rim. It's like the door just shuts. And anytime he's trying to get to the rim, he's got to make tough shots. So the stuff that he's getting, it's way further away from the basket. Not only is it way further away from the basket, it's tough shots. The majority of the shots that Luka hit yesterday, the majority of them, I thought, were shots that had a hand in his face. He did create a lot of space, which, Ox, we're going to get to that because I think what Luka is doing right now is Luka's reintroducing himself to us. That's what I think he's doing. But with that being said, I just felt like Germany was just too much down the stretch. I felt like when you get to the end of the game, I mean, everything that Luka had to do up until the end of that game, to Drenchy's point about Houston, like we need somebody to close the game. I think Luka was out of gas. I do. And as good a shape as he's been in, I just think he was out of gas. He didn't have anything left for those guys.
Yeah. I still want to talk about some games for tomorrow, the upcoming games. But before that, I want to get into some bill paying, y'all. Let's pay some bills.
Let's do it.
Shout out, y'all. This segment is brought to you in a paid partnership with Splash Sports. Now, we're putting our money where our mouth is. Are you tired of hearing about who knows ball? Jordan said the Titans going to tighten up, and they took a big L. Well, this is your opportunity. You can beat Jordan head-to-head. We teamed up with Splash Sports to drop 2 games of skill in the PC community. We got $50,000 Survivor, 1 pick a week, survive and advance. You miss once, and you're out. Now, if you listen to me, you took the Arizona Cardinals versus the New Orleans Saints, and you continue into week 2. We'll have another pick tomorrow. $15,000 weekly pick 'em. Make your picks on every game. Compete against other fans, not the house, and climb the leaderboard. Now, if you want in, the link is in the description and pinned to the top of the chat, or scan the code on the screen. Reminder, you got to be 18 or older to play, 21 or older to play in Massachusetts, Iowa, Arizona, and Louisiana, and 19 or older to play in Alabama and Virginia. Terms apply. Paid partnership. Come run it with Player's Choice on Splash Sports and turn those picks into real cash prizes.
Let's do it.
Right on.
Which
Shout out to Shout out to Splash Sports, y'all. Make sure y'all download the app if you haven't done that yet. And do like Swiper just told y'all to do. Chill, Jordan, Damian, Swipe. I do want to ask y'all some questions about tomorrow, but something interesting just came up in the chat. When I asked about, Dennis Schroder being a journeyman, somebody brought it to my attention that the best journeyman of all time is actually Kevin Durant.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Well, y'all know y'all wrong as hell.
Shaq was a journeyman.
How many teams?
No,
how many
he-
teams you have to play on to
Shaq-
be a journeyman?
No, Shaq
Shaq
was a
became-
journeyman.
And Shaq became a journeyman, but he wasn't nearly as good as a journeyman.
Hey,
as
just
other
imagine
dudes.
getting traded, being on 3 different teams in your prime. My goat could never.
Yeah, LeBron probably on his way to be a journeyman. He got one more team when they trade Bronny.
KD on team 5, right? What?
Yes, he
Okay,
is.
see,
Mhm.
LeBron on
OKC,
team
to
5.
the Warriors to Brooklyn.
Bron's technically on
Phoenix.
team 3.
You got to have at
You
least
gotta
14.
say, right?
Count
Yeah.
Cleveland twice.
No, you don't count Cleveland twice.
You got to count them twice. And he changed the
Cleveland,
roster when he get there.
Miami,
LeBron.
and the Lakers.
Wait. Don't forget, it's 6 for KD. Seattle.
Now, hey, let me see that. Matter of fact, I'll cash app y'all some Monopoly money, and let me see whoever you got to raise your hand to get this. Tell me all the team Carmelo Anthony has played for.
That's
All of
easy.
them.
Denver, Portland, Thunder.
In order. Keep going. In order.
Denver. Okay, Denver, New York, Oklahoma
Don't.
City, Portland.
Don't
He
skip
didn't play
one.
for the
No. Don't help him. I said don't help him. That's what I'm saying. Y'all got to be
That's how
quiet.
you
Goodness
don't gotta
gracious.
help me. I good. He didn't play for the Hawks. He got traded.
No. See, that's what I'm saying. Why would y'all talk? He did. He got a jersey with the Hawks.
He did not play a game with the
Cash
Hawks.
out me my money.
Bro, I was gonna say that anyway. I was talking about that didn't even help me. Like I know for sure.
Drenchy,
He didn't play with the Hawks.
You missed Houston, but
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Oh,
Drenchy.
that's-
How you missed that one? I was bugging. I was like, Drenchy, how you missed
Swiper missed
Houston?
it too.
I forgot about Atlanta. I was talking about Houston. That's what I was saying.
Swiper missed
But-
Houston too.
No, I didn't. I
fellas-
never forget. I always remember where Melo was.
I definitely forgot
tomorrow,
Houston.
tomorrow we
Brief
will
cup of coffee. It wasn't too
we will
much.
be here at this regular time tomorrow. But an hour before the show starts, Germany will be taking on Finland for the semifinals. And then as the show is ending, I'm talking about the panel, of course, Greece and Turkey will start. I think we all kind of got Germany against Finland. And if not, please correct me.
Depending on who hit
But-
threes, bro.
Okay. Well, let's talk
Because
about it.
Slovenia almost pulled it out yesterday because they were bombing. I think
Relevant.
Germany was 5 of 21 from 3 for the
Mhm.
first 3 and some change or whatever.
They
And
had
the only
them
reason,
14 in the hole at one point, Swiper.
Yep.
I was nervous.
yeah, it was bad. And then the only reason
Mhm.
they came back was because Tristan de Silva hit the 3 right at the end of the third quarter from half court. And then literally, this is how the 2 possessions chill, half court, then they went down 4. Then the very next possession for them, dude gets the ball and he shoots. What's old girl Ox from the Liberty, the one that be shooting the one-legged threes and whatnot, the white girl.
Yeah.
Not Mabry.
I know you're talking about.
Drench, what's her name, dog? The white girl that be shooting.
She got a funny
Morris-
name.
Not
She from
Morris.
France or something like that?
Yeah, Ox, we were just talking about her on playback.
I know.
Y'all, chat. You know her name. Get her name.
I'll
real
tell
quick
y'all
for
right
me.
now.
So,
Yeah,
Ox,
I
we
forgot her
got
name,
Kennedy Burke, we got Cloud, we got Phoebage,
No,
Gardner,
it's not Phoebe. It's not
Harrison.
It's an M.
Vanessa,
Johannesburg.
Johannesburg.
Yeah.
Johannesburg,
So
yeah.
chill.
Marine
Johansson.
Johannes.
Yeah, Marine.
Johansson. Marine
This
Johansson.
dude made a one-legged fading
Yo,
like
man.
towards left out of bounds, 3 with no time on the shot clock. I'm talking about chill.
I mean, with 2 people on him too, by the way.
Splash.
Swiper. Don't leave that part out. Yeah, 2 guys on him
people
when he
on
did
him.
that too.
And it was a splash. And I'm like, oh, yeah,
Yes.
game's over.
Yeah,
Game's up. That was the
Two
Rudy
guys on him.
Gobert moment in Game 7 when he made that turnaround fade over Jokic from the 3-point line. That's when I knew the game was over. Yeah.
They out.
Hey, the high school show when they put the
Yeah.
keys out, time to go home. That's exactly what
Let's
I
go.
did, bro.
Yeah,
It was
it's
over.
out.
I mean, Germany
it's a
got
wrap for
hot.
those guys.
Now, shout out to the dude with the bad hairline from Slovenia, number 7. I don't know if one of y'all remember his name, but bro,
Peppelich, is it? No.
That shit is like
he got a face up. He got a face up on one Germany's good play. I think it might have been France. Got a face up on him and was looking down. He did the LeBron, Drench. He did the LeBron. He literally looked down at the ground.
and then shot it.
bro.
Bucket.
I don't know how they let LeBron get away with that bullshit ass signature move. That's the most bullshit signature move I ever seen in the NBA. You just go look at the ground, look at the ball, and just go right into a shot. And then he put his head back like, what the hell? That shit go in though. I mean, he go in for sure. But god damn, you don't know that's coming. He just looking at the ball, inspecting the ball, and then you don't think he gonna shoot it.
Man, Slovenia ball. Omich ball, the big man that they had yesterday. Luka played amazing, y'all. I mean, he was phenomenal, but bro, he did a great job not getting that fifth foul. Chill. He had 4 fouls at the half.
Yes.
And didn't get a foul rest of the game.
That's
which is bugged out to me.
When
you're playing defense. No, you don't play defense when you got 4 fouls that early. You know that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
They had him hanging out. He was hanging out in China. He was all the way in China.
Stop.
The defensive end. No, he was. He was all the way in the corner.
Yeah, but don't say China like
Wait,
that.
hold on.
I know what you're doing. Don't do
the
that.
whole play's going on over here. Chill. He was standing over here. Don't look at me. He didn't want no business with that fifth foul. So he played great though. Like Luka was phenomenal yesterday. Where
was he?
I just want to don't do that. I just want to say something real quick because I'm in the chat right now. And there's, we're having a Kawhi Leonard conversation. I didn't see the news. I want to admit something. The day that
apologize
dropped,
to me.
Wait, hold on, Swiper. Hold on. The day that dropped, I wanted to let y'all know I was caught completely off guard. I had no idea what was going on. Everybody was saying something. I put that Kawhi Leonard jersey on that morning. Pure coincidence. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was talking about it. I went on and I started doing research right there on the spot. That's how I found out about it. So no, I'm not hip to the news that's going on. So if Kawhi got, caught guilty, then I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying?
He's not. He didn't get caught guilty.
Not yet.
The circumstance. But
I just defend Kawhi on the spot right there. I don't need.
I didn't want to play the Django Samuel Jackson clip, but you was no.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that every single time. Every single time I'm gonna do that.
But it's worse today because every time they come out, by the way, to say, "Oh, we didn't boom, boom, boom," and here come Pablo Torres. Hey, another haymaker. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But
I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there shoulder to shoulder with Kawhi. We fight.
Nah. You tripping.
But fellas, let's stick to this and let's talk about tomorrow's game. Greece versus Turkey. What do we think? How is that going to play out, and who do we got winning?
I just think Turkey's going to be too much for Greece, and as good as Giannis is, as good as Kustis has been around the rim, I just think Turkey's offense is just going to be too much for them. And I know that, like I said this to you guys yesterday, I think that Giannis, he's going to cancel out. We just got to cancel out him in terms of his buckets. We're not going to be able to stop Giannis. So you could pencil Giannis in for between 25 to 30 points, right? And I think that we could just cancel that out. But I feel like with the rest of that Greece team, I just don't think that they can match what Turkey is doing, because I feel like offensively Turkey is just so much better than Greece is as a whole. And because of that, I think Turkey handles Greece. I don't think they smoke them, but I do think that they handle them tomorrow.
And they've been building for a while, Turkey, just quietly in the back, and it's their coming out party. So I got Turkey as well, but it was interesting that Lithuania's coach said that Greece looks like the best roster in the tournament. But I agree with you, Chill. I think Turkey's got too much.
And again, with this Turkey team, I mean, Greece relies so much on Giannis to do everything for them. Turkey doesn't rely as much on Sengun as they rely on the rest of the group. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Sengun, especially with the dribble handoff that he does and the fact that he operates in the post the way he operates, especially when he gets mismatches the way he does, and his touch has been so much better around the rim in this tournament. I feel like with having Costas on him I feel like he's going to get Costas on him, and I think he's going to take advantage of Costas being the anticipatory shot blocker that he is. I think he's going to take advantage of that, get him in foul trouble, and I think that that's going to throw a monkey wrench in their paint protection. So I just feel like Turkey is just going to be too much I think they're just going to be too much for Greece.
Jordan?
Giannis scare me, bro. Like Turkey can be too much for Greece, Giannis can be too much for Turkey. And like
just him alone, just him by himself.
And like he can disrupt a game in a sense to where it's like they might be devastated. Like, let's say he go right at Şengün get 3-4 fouls early. It's a wrap. Like, it's a wrap for Turkey after that. So I hear y'all, and I'm optimistic as a Rockets fan. Of course, I want Turkey to win. As going to Turkey a bunch of times, of course, I want Turkey to win. But I know who over there on that Greece side, and it's Giannis. And he can chill. He can single-handedly dominate that game and change that game.
And I thought that, that was one of the mistakes that I made during the playoffs, because I thought he could beat Indiana by himself. I did think he was that good. No, not that but much. I thought he could beat Indiana by himself. I thought he was that good. But if you look at this Turkey defense, just so you know, Drench, they've held teams, 5 of their 6 wins, they've held teams under 80. Only one team has scored 90 against them, right? So I think they do such a good job in terms of team defense, in terms of rotating, and they're big guys. Şengün isn't as bad a defender as some people tell me that he is. And I think that they do a great job at gang rebounding, a great job at that. So as good as Giannis is, I've always adopted the idea. You better than me. You might be better than me. You might be better than me and Ox. You ain't better than all of us. Nah, it's not happening. And I feel like Giannis, with this group, there may be other groups that I feel like Giannis could do it by himself against. I don't think it is against this Turkey team.
But I feel like it's important to note, though, that the reason why Luka's team made it this far, Giannis' team has made it this far, like, you need a great on-ball threat, obviously. Yep. But what you need is shooting. And I think one of the things that has to happen is you got to have somebody who – your best player has to be able to create. And I think that's what Luka, Giannis, Jokic, whoever the other best tier, players. And I think Şengün – but even Şengün has like Shane Larkin. Like, Shane Larkin's been doing a really good job so far in EuroBasket as well. So I think some of this is Giannis, if he can generate enough threes and they can convert those threes, then yeah, they can win. But literally is going to come down to outside shot making. They have to be able to hit those perimeter shots versus Turkey, especially if they're going to pack the paint versus Giannis and go big like they did versus Serbia on the interior versus Giannis. Giannis is going to be good enough to make a lot of damage in this game. He's going to have anywhere.
They have to hit those shots. You mean swiping? You mean Greece has to hit those shots, or Turkey has to hit those shots?
Greece has to hit them to stay in the game, because when there's a talent deficit, then you have to have the shooting on your side. Yep. That's typically how that works. And offensive rebounding. Yeah, so they got to.
Greece could be.
Yeah, they got to have second chance opportunities in EuroBasket. Has been annoyingly the key of the tournament so far. If you cannot get defensive rebounds, you will lose. So they have to rebound.
Which Turkey has been really good at. And I feel like with them being able to stretch the defense with Seti Osman and with Korkmaz, I think that they have more on the perimeter in terms of stretching the defense, more than what Greece has. And couple that with what Şengün has been, couple that with their defense and the way that they've been playing in transition, I just think they're going to be too much for Greece.
Okay, chill. Don't be surprised when you look up and Giannis got a 40-piece with 15 rebounds.
That ain't gonna be enough.
In a losing effort?
Yeah, it's not gonna be enough.
So right now it seems like we're mostly leaning towards Germany and Turkey. So let's assume that is the way it goes. How do we feel about that championship matchup?
Germany gonna win, but if they play against Turkey, if Germany play against anybody, gonna win. But if they play against Turkey,
am I out of line to think that this Finland game going to be a lot more competitive than I think it is? I thought that they would handle Slovenia, but I think this Finland game is going to be a lot more competitive than people think. I think they're going to beat Finland, but when I look at this Finland team, it's not just Lauri Markkanen that they have. Mm-hmm. The high school kid, the 18-year-old kid that they have, Marinin, man, he stretches the defense. That the other kid, Justin, Jantarin, that's his name. I'm sorry. He's really good for them, right? Really good. And they play really well off of Markkanen. And I think their size is going to cause trouble for Germany. I'm not saying that they beat Germany, Drenchy. I ain't saying that. But I think that their size is going to cause some trouble for Germany. And I think that when we get to the meat and potatoes of the game, I think that could wear them down.
And why do they call him Slim Jesus?
Because he's white and he's tall and people think Jesus was white.
But
I think exactly what that is. And the hair.
It's a good point you made, though, because outside of Germany here, if any of these three other teams win, it's going to be monumental that they've won this thing. It's going to be, especially Finland, like it's going to be insane. So for the greater good of the game, man,
goodness.
if they win this thing, is Lauri Markkanen going to the Hall?
Hey, watch out.
Is Lauri going to the Hall?
Watch out. Yo. Watch out, man.
But I think this speaks to this, and this is what the NBA missed, and this is what I think also got Calvin Booth fired. This is all connected for me. In shooting, remember Calvin Booth before the Nuggets season last year said he said that Nikola Jokic should not lose a series because of three-point shooting. I think he severely underestimated the impact of how three-point shooting it eliminates the gap between us teams based on talent. If Finland goes out there and they're generating high-quality shots on more possessions than you, and then they're converting on 38% of those possessions from three in a 40-minute game,
it's the ultimate equalizer. Yeah,
so are you blaming Calvin Booth for?
No, I think I just think the era has changed, and you have to adjust with it. I think the Celtics went too far, but you do need to have a level of three-point shooting on your roster and variance on your side in order to eliminate. And I think that's what the Pacers did. Remember, the Pacers had the best shot quality in the playoffs last year, which is why they took the OKC to 7. And in my opinion, would have won Game 7 if Hallie didn't goes down. But I'm saying that in that instance, like shot quality matters, and I think Finland. They've been generating a lot of really high-quality shots based off the way their offense has been playing. And you also just got to, like, in a football phrase, nut up. Like, you got to be able to stand in the gap. And if an opportunity presents itself, you got to be able to get offensive rebounds. You got to be able to deliver on the interior. And you got to be able to hit shots when they come to you. And that's why they won. Valtonen, hitting those shots over Jokic, did the same. He did the same thing that an old boy did for Slovenia. Gave Jokic one of them little, pow. Murinen did the same thing twice. So, like, you just got to be able to hit the shots when they matter. And I wouldn't be surprised if Finland makes it a game. But if Lauri comes out with 27 and 29 and 7 again, and it's like Valtonen looks good, Murinen looks good, and then all of a sudden, like, Madsen's playing well again, and then you're getting another good game from Gustafsson, like, that all of a sudden, like, the game changes, the series changes, and the next thing you know, Finland is making the EuroBasket finals.
Crazy.
If they end up upsetting if they end up upsetting Germany, man, that's definitely going to be something. To your point, that we have to talk about. No question about that. Because again, if I look at this group and I look what they don't just have Lauri Markkanen, right? Like I said, they don't just have Lauri Markkanen, but the other guys that they have compared to what Germany has and how long those guys been together and how good that they've been, Finland shouldn't compete in this game as much, but I think that this game is going to be a lot more competitive than we give these dudes credit for. A lot more competitive. I mean, they just had a game, it was against Georgia, I think, where I think they had 5 guys in double figures. So with the 5 guys in double figures that they had, I mean, I feel like they can do something similar to that against Germany. I do. I'm really interested to see that game. I think they play tomorrow because the championship game is on Sunday.
That's right.
Tomorrow at so 10 Eastern will be the first game. That's Finland versus Germany, and then 2 Eastern will be the Greece versus Turkey. Now I do want to get to something else, y'all. Adam Silver was asked about the streaming and all of that with the games and whatnot, and he actually came out and said that the NBA, in general, is a highlight league. So if you pretty much said if you can't afford the stream or whatever, get on YouTube and watch the highlights. Go on IG, watch the highlights. TikTok, watch the highlights. Is that egregious, or am I going overboard with this?
It's terrible, and it's everything wrong, in my opinion, with the current game and the way it's covered. The highlight culture's sort of killed the integrity of the game. You got people out there that feel that they know the game intimately and they follow the game intimately, but they don't. They don't watch the game. They don't watch junk time between the Wizards and the Jazz, which means something. Right. They don't know the 15th guy on the bench, and it's because of stuff like this. It's because it's inaccessible. Even when they're doing expansion talks now, do they have local TV deals where they can get eyes in front of the audience in that city? It's a conversation, and it shouldn't be inaccessible to the public that want to watch these games, especially for the small markets. It's incredible. And you see it through the discourse in the NBA right now with all the fans. It's a shame.
I think one of the major problems with Adam Silver that people have is he's very much a player's commissioner. The difference between him and David Stern is David Stern was definitely ruling more with an iron fist. And I mean, it was Adam Silver, David Stern. Like there is no in between with him. He's definitely ruling more toward what the players want to watch and what the players want to do. Now, when we're talking about just being a highlight culture, this is the epitome of what we're talking about. Ruling what you want more eyes and you want more guys. Why you want more people watching the game? So if you want more people watching the game, you would make it more accessible to these people to watch the game, because we really didn't have a lot of opportunity to watch games. But we did have NBC, we did have CBS, right? And then we moved over to TNT. We did have that. What is not good is now moving toward a highlight culture where it's just you don't understand the game. You just see the highlights of Luka. You see the highlights of Joker. You don't understand how Joker actually got those 14 assists. You don't understand how effective Valanciunas was in the offense throughout the course of the game and how they end up going on an 8-0 run. You don't understand that. What you do see, though, is you see Joker throwing the ball behind his head, or you see Jamal Murray, he goes for 26 points, and with him going for 26 points, that's all you see, him just knocking down jumpers, not understanding him getting pick and roll, stuff like that. And I think that if you made games more accessible to people, I think that would make not the highlight culture go away, because there aren't people who have a lot of time to watch games.
Right.
And that's the casual fan, right? I get that part. But I think that if you made things more accessible to them, they could watch a little bit more than they like to. They would watch a little bit more. Not than they like to, Ox. That's not what I mean. They would watch a little bit more because they want to.
I mean, too, you got working class folks that, if you know what I'm saying, if you work a night shift, a swing shift, a graveyard shift, whatever, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
you got to get some rest while the games are on or something. So, some people just can't watch, and I understand in that aspect where you kind of gotta, and you not necessarily be a casual, but you got to check the box scores, you got to watch the highlights, and I understand and respect that. But for Adam Silver to say what he's like, the way he said it seemed kind of smug and kind of like, well,
it's a highlight league anyway. So I mean, like that's what they're doing anyway.
And that's the issue. That's a big issue. Just kind of like you already said. Now I don't want to, be a broken record and repeat everything you just said, Chill. But if you're kind of encouraging fans to just be highlight merchants, I think that's kind of gonna, that's bringing down the level of just good hoop talk that we're getting as well. Because like you just watch the highlights, you don't get to see everything else. I just think that was just really, really bad for Adam to say that. And I want to kind of run something down by y'all real quick. And I know I'm sure most of you guys are aware of this, but in case you're not, so the teams like Charlotte and Chicago have 3 national televised games.
3.
Brooklyn, New Orleans, Toronto, Utah, and Washington all have 2.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Toronto is going to be pretty good this year. Indiana, I know Tyrese got hurt, but they were just in the championship. They got 9.
Mm-hmm.
Miami has 5. Phoenix 9. Sacramento 9. Portland 8. But you go up here and you see teams like Boston. Boston has 25 games this year. And Swiper, you've talked about the influence Boston and their media have on the NBA already. But a team like Boston, I think they need to give up some of those games. I just think that the whole nationally televised games, the way they're dispersing them, I think they're doing us a disservice. I think there's a lot of these lesser teams that people want to see. You know what I mean? And so I just think this whole situation, how they're doing the streaming services and all that, and not many national games for some of the up and coming players. Like people want to see Alex Sarr. You know what I'm saying? Want to see his development and stuff like that. So I think the NBA has to do better, and I think that's shame on you, Mr. Commissioner, for the response that you gave with this being a highlight.
One of my biggest issues, Ox. One of my biggest issues. I remember as a younger man, I didn't get to see Stockton play as nearly as much as I would have liked to see him play. Because Utah wasn't on TV nearly as much. And then when they started going deep into the playoffs and Malone started getting better, Stockton started getting better, and when I moved to Utah, I'm like, damn, yo, these dudes been here for 8-9 years and I didn't get an opportunity. Same thing with Clyde Drexler. The fact that he was on the West Coast, I didn't really get to see. I might have got to see him play like once or twice during the regular season, and then in the playoffs, I didn't get nearly as much access to him as I would have liked to. I think that if with the league where it is today, with the accessibility, I think you guys can make games more accessible at an affordable rate where people can watch them. And again, I'm not talking about us because we're already on the hook, right? We're going to watch games anyway. I'm talking about the casual fan. So when we have the box score watcher, he could understand the game a little bit more than what he does now because he doesn't just have to watch the box score. I got one of my buddies that says to me, yo, you can watch the box score and tell everything about the game. I'm like, no, you can't. Because if you're watching the box score, the numbers don't tell everything about the game. No, they don't tell you everything. And if you watch the box score, all you're going to do, or you watch highlights, all you're going to do is you're going to get what logic you have of the game ripped apart. Because the best way I can put it, Ox, is you know that chick that you looking at, okay, she's great in front. Okay, you don't know her friends. You don't know what her credit score is. You don't know where she worked. But you know what? You know she a lot of fun to hang out with. That's the highlights. That's the highlights are.
That's the real thing, Chill. When you see these IG baddies, you don't know that you don't know that her bathroom is dirty. You don't know she ain't.
You don't know it.
All month. You know.
You don't know that. That's what the highlights are in the NBA. That's.
Damn, I'm serious. You don't know that you can't even use her bathroom. It's so dirty. How you put the shot in here?
I also want to say this. As far as Adam Silver comments, because I listened to it. I just genuinely think, I don't know if he was trying to be disgusting about it. I just genuinely think he didn't have the answer to the question that the reporter asked. Like, I just don't think he had, like, for me, this whole league pass or this thing, to me, is stupid because I'm a Houston Rockets fan. If I buy the league pass, why can't I watch the Houston Rockets games? Why is it blacked out in my area when I'm a Houston Rockets?
They have cable deals in place for TV rights.
To me, that's like, I don't think he has the answers for those type of questions. So I think the bigger thing is the highlight of his press conference is you can just watch the highlights. I think that's small compared to what's really going on and what people are really griping and complaining about. Like, we spend so much money on league passes every year just to not be able to see our local teams play. Like,
it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make
and
no
then
sense.
They're cracking down on illegal streams and all that stuff. And
then somebody brought up an extreme point, was like in other countries, they pay less money and get to watch every game. Like,
that's like
at that point, that don't make sense. As far as go watch the highlights, I still don't agree with that either, because that's what basketball is starting to become, a highlight game. Like, you can see it in the lower levels. That's all the kids do anyway, regardless of whether he says it or not. That's what the kids watch anyway, is highlights. But at the end of the day, I think the issue for me is, why can't I watch the Rockets game in Houston? I
think a lot of this too with the TV stuff is, unfortunately, what the NBA is not saying out loud is that their priority over fan experience is making more money. And what they're actually doing is they're diversifying the package for how you watch games, because that is the best way to move into 21st century equity when it comes to streaming and television rights and ad production. So the more streaming services you have, the more ads you generate, the more income you generate, the more teams make, the higher the salary cap goes up, which is why we saw a 2016 bump, and we're going to see another bump here soon because of TV deals. So I think what Adam did is he tried to be sensitive to the fact that he is outpricing a lot of people. And also, Adam, the NBA they're in bed with government and everything. They know things are really hard for the common man today. Like, the common man has to pay so much money for their rent, television, their heat, electricity, car note, their jobs aren't. So the amount of money people have to give to these kind of things like streaming services for NBA game is dwindling because of the way the market is right now. Like, right now, there are more, reportedly from the U.S. government, there are more people that are unemployed than there are jobs available right now. So you just think about where the market is. I think Adam is aware of this, knows this, but he's like, well, the best that we can do is say, Just turn on the highlights.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right answer for it.
By the way, on YouTube, and unless you have YouTube Red Premium, you will be watching ads on an 8-minute highlight for the game as well. So they're gonna make their money around you some way, shape, or form. I think a lot of this, y'all, is the NBA is moving into a new area, and Jordan's probably more aware of this than others on the stage. But the NFL started this. Remember, Jordan, they put an NFL playoff game on Peacock a couple years ago.
That was awful. That was awful.
Then they put a Christmas game last year on Netflix, and the streaming was horrible. Like, this is the world we're moving into. You're going to have to watch your team play. You got to get a deal with Amazon. You got to deal with Peacock.
So
you got to deal with Netflix.
Right. So basically, Ox is right. Gentrifying the sport.
That's what I was about to say, Jordan. I told you before. They're gentrifying the sport. Before. They're trying to gentrify the court and the sport. And when you start gentrification, you can't just gentrify right here. You know, it's like a good company. You know what I'm saying? Like when you build vertically, you know what I'm saying? You integrate vertically. They're gentrifying vertically. You know what I'm saying? They're doing the same thing, like every level, from the youth to how you watch the game, how you go to the game, buying jerseys, everything. It's they're trying to price a certain demographic out, and that's all I'm saying. But remember when
the reason why that's not smart, Ox, is because if you think about who is filling up these arenas, it's not corporate people. If you think about who's filling up these arenas, it's not suits and ties. It's not the people who filling up these arenas.
It's not regular Joes either, though.
Yeah, it's more suits and ties.
Think about the last time you bought a ticket to a game. If you get in a quality seat today, I mean, like, I sit in the media section, so my tickets are free because I work in the NBA media. But the section I'm in is like the 200s. So, like, it's close. So, like, these are like people making decent money, or to your point, they're, you know, when you work for a corporation, they give you boxes. So, Jordan, I sit right in front of the boxes. So all them people that are behind me, these are corporate seats. These are people that buy suites for the whole year. So these people are paying thousands of dollars.
The Rockets,
if
you look at this, the Rockets pretty much turned 50 Cent got a partnership with the Rockets. Like, they got pretty much a club inside of the Rockets thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's turning into that. It's turning into, like, basketball games starting to turn into, like, clubs and hangout spots. Like, hey, come get a drink. Come do this.
Atlanta, the exact same.
So I went to the Heat game. They played when Oklahoma City came to town. That's where that's the section that I try to, because I'm not sitting upstairs. I might as well sit at home.
How much are those?
How much are those, Joe?
Those to sit there, I think they ran me like $250. Yeah.
That's
that boy went to Game Time. By the way, download the Game Time app if you want to play. You can see your panoramic seat view from right where you are, and from that point, you can find the best deals possible. Also, you get last-minute deals. You get tickets available right up to the start. All you got to do is download the Game Time app, look and see where you want to sit. It will tell you the best price, and you get a panoramic seat view right from that spot. Download the app. Use code PLAYERS for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app. Y'all know what time it is. Game time.
Yeah, it is. Don't leave that out, because we got playback on Thursday. That is tonight. I don't know what game we're watching, but we do Throwback Thursday, where we watch games from the past, and we get to see exactly what these guys used to be, because a lot of people need to be reminded of what exactly they are. So we do Throwback Thursdays, and we got a really good one for you guys tonight on Throwback Thursday. I'm going to be there. Ox is going to be there. It's going to be a really good game. Come check us out on Playback TV tonight at 7 o'clock. It'll be really good for you.
And the PCL King of the Court Season 3. Tomorrow we will be doing the draft. Don't miss the show tomorrow, because we have our captains, Ox, Chill, Swiper, and Drench. We are all captains, and we will be doing our picks tomorrow. So don't miss the show. Be there. Hey, Chill.
Sir.
You used to do a little improv?
I did not. No,
improv is really fun. That's why I was just clicking through. I was just going to see who jumped in there. I see you was on your job. I see.
Show used to do improv when he used to go to the HBCU. He had a way he would act. When he went to the PWIs, he'd be like, "My name is Chillifer, and I'm here on that.
I'm chilling for it.
Why would you put that smut on Chill
but-
name? Why would you
Nah,
put
that
that
was-
smut on Chill name? Number
That's-
one, Chill the same dude in every arena. And,
No,
and
Chill,
to be honest,
Chill had the way he act with Jennifer, and then Chill had the way he act with Keisha. You know what I mean? Shout out to my dog,
tell you
man.
something. I'ma tell you
Two-way
something.
player. Two-way
Swiper,
player,
I'ma tell you
Chill.
something, and you know this better than anybody. You need to switch it up sometimes, Swiper. You know that. You know that
Yes.
sometimes you got to switch it up when you're talking to this group and talking to that group. That's
Yeah,
just what it
you
goes.
definitely
That's
do.
just life. That's life in
Thank you.
general.
Yeah, I saw you do it in real life. We went to a black event. Jordan had that all leather suit on. I was like, all right, Eddie Murphy. I see you. Shout out to my dog.
You know.
I better look good, John.
Yeah. Hey, look, listen. I am the drench man in any building. I like that go across the world. That go across the world right there. Like it ain't just
Boy, it was. Hey, we went to that ramen spot, y'all. It was great. Food was amazing. I expected it out somehow. He's good. You know,
what
tall.
Robin
He saw-
spot.
the one right across the street from in San Francisco that we went to.
Yeah,
The, ramen. Yeah,
That
the
was
ramen
my spot. I picked. I don't
All
give
right, but
my
hold on.
spot
But listen,
credit. I picked
let
that
me
spot
tell y'all how fresh Jordan was. He had a leather hat on too, by the way, like a Richard Pryor leather hat on.
He lied.
Hey, chill. When the rain was dropping, it literally was sliding off the
That
leather.
dude lied. I didn't even have. First of all,
It
I
was
didn't even have
sliding
that
off the
home
leather.
with
Hey,
it.
look, hey, no, Jordan, you walked
Why would
in.
go to improv?
Jordan,
Why
you
would
walked
go to
in,
improv?
you shook it off like this. That water dropped on the spot. You walked in there dry as heck.
No,
My Australian brother, the name Drench Man, that is not self-proclaimed. He really is that. I needed to see it, but I did see it. He is definitely the
I
Drench
believe that.
Man. No
Oh,
doubt.
Shout out to my dog,
He is
Drench Man.
definitely is that.
Hey,
no doubt.
you know, it ain't all about how you dress either, man. It's just all about the flair. It's all about the style. You know, you give
Yes.
people what they want.
got the
know, you make it
charisma.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's what this is about. It's a style.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. So about this with the whole Adam Silver's what he said about streaming and Jordan, your response to hold on.
Stop putting my face on your
Remember
outfit,
the San
brother. That's
Francisco
you.
fit, y'all.
That's Swiper.
Hey,
Swiper,
wait.
take
See,
your head off.
hey,
Well, that's
sing it
kinda
with
good
me.
though.
Sing it with me.
That's Swiper with that. That ain't me, Damien. That's Swiper.
Superstar, all right.
Swiper. All you gotta do is take the head off. That's you.
All right,
Swiper. Look, you see
but-
them
but,
legs in the gym?
But into Jordan's response to that about
My
not being
boy,
able to
my boy
watch
dressed like
local
Catwoman. Shout out to my dog.
Mad Max sends a super chat and he says, "Is it not on the team to provide local games?"
Yeah, but
That's
you
what's
gotta
going
have
on down
cable.
here.
You gotta have
Mhm.
cable though. I don't have cable in my house. I'm not a cable watcher. I watch YouTube. I watch streams. Like I watch Netflix. I don't have cable. I haven't had cable since like 2016. So I don't want to go buy $100 a month worth of cables just so I can watch the Rockets when I'm paying. How much is League Pass a month? What, $30 a month?
Nah. League Pass like $15, maybe
Yeah.
$16.
No, what League Pass you talking about?
The individual team League Pass is like $16, $17.
I don't have no individual team League Pass because they don't play the games.
Well,
do you
I have the Nuggets one. I'm saying that's how much I pay. So I mean, maybe it could be
But
different.
the difference
Gotta
is
be
but
different.
You're in Atlanta though, so that's
Yeah.
they're not gonna block that out for you. So
Right.
what Jordan's saying is if he can't just do that because they're gonna black out his game. So I get what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. Like I can't even watch the Rockets game, even on YouTube TV. They hype up watch YouTube TV, brother. I'm not even a Texans fan, but I like to watch the Texans because I want to see them lose. I got YouTube TV, and they said we can't play this game. Cancel. I'm right off the rip. Cancel that. Why would I buy this and I can't watch regular
Now somebody
games?
said, Jordan, get a VPN. You get one of them little boxes and get a VPN. Apparently, you can watch anything.
You probably can. I don't necessarily know how the VPNs work. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about VPN. I'm not too familiar with VPN, so maybe I do need a VPN. But shit, even that feels scammy. Like, how do I know somebody ain't gonna steal my VPN? And
Adam West, DM Jordan to help him set it up because a lot of people use it apparently, and apparently it works really well.
Yeah, I do need to figure out how to set up a VPN though.
Hey,
I don't
we
much
know
about
a scammer, and we got a scammer on PC. He don't
Yes,
live in
we
this
do.
country.
Yes, we 100%.
He don't live in this country. We got a scammer on
Yes, we
PC.
got a scammer.
Just call.
Yes, we do.
Just
Hey,
call
Damien,
him.
you know how you be using the VPN, Damien?
Yeah.
And I
I'm
do
gonna show you how to use
understand-
it. I'm gonna show you.
I
how
do
to-
understand.
I'm gonna get Damien. You gonna let me know how to do
And I
that.
do understand people's frustrations because down here in South Florida, yes, I do have cable TV. and on the local channels, the Miami Heat play. But when it's a nationally televised game, like let's say Drenchy that they play in, I don't know, let's say they play Milwaukee and the game's on NBA TV. It's blacked out. It's blacked out down here. Right? It's blacked out. So you got to and when I say it's blacked out on NBA TV. I could watch it on a local channel here, but then if it's nationally televised, then it's blacked out on NBA TV. I mean, then it's blacked out on the local channel here, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm lucky that I got NBA TV because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to watch the amount of games that I do.
Shout out to Playback. Shout out to Playback.
Yes, sir.
But I do want to say this, y'all, and regardless, because I didn't feel with Adam Silver how he said that, and I don't feel all this extras that they're doing to make you have to watch basketball games. I think it's ridiculous, but we have to make a choice, y'all. Yeah. It's like if we want these NBA players to get paid, y'all we always talk about the business of basketball and oh man, why aren't they paying this guy this and how come Cam Thomas has to settle for this? If we want these guys, if we want to support our favorite athletes, which is something I hear a lot in the chat and just around, if we want to support the NBA, if we're basketball fans, we have to support the league. You know what I'm saying? It might not be the way you want to support the league. It's similar to your favorite content creators. PC. You guys, you know what I'm saying? You guys watch, y'all support. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, that's a part of it. So I figure it's a give and a take. It's a give and a take. So what do we want to do? We can't watch games for free and expect the NBA to keep thriving the same way that y'all can't expect your favorite content creators to come to be here if y'all not supporting, you know what I'm saying, watching, liking, subscribing, sending super chats, being active in the chat. I mean, we can't have both ways. You know what I'm saying? We gotta support or not pretend like we're fans of the content that our favorite basketball players drop, because that's what they're doing. In a sense, I mean, they're athletes, but in a sense, look at it as they're content creators. You know what I'm saying? They're giving us content to watch. We got to support it.
Yeah.
You know, so what's it going to be? But let's get back to this super chat. Masinko G. NBA app doesn't work with VPNs. Now, Playback does, though. So, PC, we need more streams. Shout out my GOAT, Brad Miller.
You probably got to turn rendering off. You probably turn the rendering off. Probably does work, but I don't know. I do know rendering affects the NBA app a lot.
Interesting. I
just gave y'all some gems, but what you do with that is not my problem.
Rendering, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that.
You probably got to turn it off. Yeah.
All right.
Because it'll black the screen. Now I don't know if y'all ever tried to like screen record NBA content. Don't do that. It's gonna black it out.
That's not how you do it, though, Brody. I got you. Bro.
I know how to do it. That's what I'm saying. Like, you can't do it that way. Don't do that. But you know, we can't go to jail.
I was about to say, Ox. This sounds like some type of stuff.
Hey,
like,
they went and got them. Like. I ain't gonna say what it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
And by the way, I had to ask because you know I used to do clips all the time during the game, and legally, mind you, U.S. government. And I literally would ask the team writers, like, yo, how do y'all, but they get a link straight from the studio for clips. Right. Like the studio will actually send them the clips and stuff that they can put them up and everything. Man, I was like, I wish, bro, if I had access to the games at all times and every single one of them, bro, I'll be putting out.
What you mean they got access to the studio?
So because Altitude is the studio that does all the Nuggets games. So if you work for the Nuggets, you work for Altitude. So the writers for the Nuggets basically they can get a direct link from Altitude to their phone for individual clips during games. So that way they can get everything out and it's like professional.
That's how those pages on Instagram be getting them clips that fast.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, I be wondering like how the hell y'all doing that fast, bro? Like, bro, I used to be fast with it. They too fast. Boy, somebody get a block, they got the replay, they got the high definition clip. Like, bro, how y'all doing that fast? I mean, they also got probably 50 people working on it too, but you know, Journeyman Sports is just only one dude, you know, so I can't beat everybody.
Shout out to my girl Brad Miller.
So kind of going back to EuroBasket. How do we feel about the performance of Luka Doncic throughout this tournament so far?
Amazing. I mean, it's an amazing thing to see. I'm glad Luka's playing in the EuroBasket because it gets him in shape. So when the season starts, he don't have to play himself into shape. And I feel like this can keep him healthier too. Like I feel like this keeps him healthier. As far as when the season starts, he don't have to, be just getting out of the bed, playing off those growing pains, which I feel like cause you to be more injured. So it's cool. It's cool to see him compete on defense. His play style is still the same. And I would assume playing in EuroBasket with Slovenia.
Boy, he been playing the same since he was about 11 years old.
He played a little different when he was in Europe.
Can I give y'all some numbers real quick? Can I give y'all some numbers?
Yeah.
So we're looking at 34.7 points per game, 8.6 assists per game, and 7.1 rebounds per game. Damien, is this what you expected, Damien?
Well, only the third time ever someone in EuroBasket has averaged more than 30 points.
Ever?
And the other two times was Nico Gallis in 87 and 89, I think. And now it's Luka. So an incredible tournament. Like you said, Chill, a bit of a coming out party. I do have concerns that it's a long season for him now. If he's trying to take the Lakers deep this next coming season, I think the burnout
I don't think he
could
play
be
every game though with the Lakers.
No, I don't think so either, but I think that's a possibility. But even like even his last game, 39, 10, and 7 in a EuroBasket game, what's that translate to an NBA game? That's 50, 12, and 9, 50, 12, and 10. Like he looks like an incredible shape. He's my favorite for MVP next year. I just think the numbers he's going to put up is going to be just stupid. He looks incredible, but again, and Swiper, you made a good point of this last time I was on. It's just he just doesn't have the team. He just doesn't have the team that can do it. And if he ever wins anything at an international stage, it'll probably be the highlight of his career. Even if he does win an NBA championship, that's how big it'll be.
Yeah, of course. The bronze for Serbians matters way more than the NBA championship did. I mean, NBA championship's like a great thing, but like, EuroBasket has always been the apex of what's happening over there, like in the Olympics and FIFA. The World Cup, EuroBasket, the Olympics, that's like the trifecta. Like if you're able to win all those things, which is probably impossible just given the way that countries are split up now. But yeah, I mean, just great performance from Luka. He was great. I thought, I think Luka's this game is also suited for EuroBasket. He's a dominant on-ball player. And he's a dominant on-ball scorer. He's a very good rebounder for a guard. He's a very good passer, playmaker. And on top of that, he's not facing like the level of athletes that really challenge him consistently. So he holds up better defensively. Like he had a great all the way one through, however many games they played run. And I thought he was spectacular.
I think that we have a tendency, especially in the climate today, we have a tendency to want more with doing less. Ox, I'm a ball player. That's what I do. I play basketball. And in order for me to stay at a high level as a basketball player, I have to keep playing basketball. I have to keep working on my craft. And I feel like with Luka playing in this EuroBasket tournament, this does nothing but enhance his game. I thought 2 years ago, and I'm probably going to get in a fight with this. I'm probably going to get in a fight because of this. I thought 2 years ago, Luka was the best scorer in the game. And I felt like that because I thought that there was nobody who could score the basketball easier than Luka. I think we get back to that this season coming up. I think that training camp opens in like 2 more weeks. With training camp opening in 2 more weeks, I think Luka segues right into the NBA game. And I think that he gets back to being the consistent, easy bucket getter that he was 2-3 years ago, where it was more consistent, where it didn't seem like it was that difficult, especially him getting downhill, being able to beat up on smaller guards or even guys his size. Luka's never been a superior athlete, but he's always understood angles. And in addition to him understanding angles, he understood spots to get to. And Luka knows how to get guys off balance. In addition to him getting guys off balance, I think this is going to be really good for this Laker team because, one, James sees that, and James recognizes that I don't have to score 30 a game running with this dude. So I think that Luka's going to play off the ball a little bit more this year, and I think James is going to be setting him up kind of like what was going on when he was playing with Kyrie Irving, kind of like how he was playing with Kyrie Irving. And I think that that's just going to enhance Luka's game, and I think he's going to reintroduce himself to us, Ox. You said I was fat. You said I was out of shape. You said that I couldn't score anymore. You said that I don't care about the game. I'm smoking hookah. I'm drinking beers. Okay, so let me reintroduce you to who I used to be. because you clearly forgot how nice I was. So let me reintroduce you to that. I'm actually playing defense out here. I'm more committed on the defensive end. It's obvious what I look like in terms of my body that I'm serious about what I'm doing. So let me reintroduce you to Luka Doncic, and I love that about him.
No and you know what I love, Chill, as well? The leadership. When you see him on the bench caring and cussing at his teammates when they're not doing the right thing, it's just another step he can take as well. Something off the floor. I love that. I love the leadership as well.
And by the way, Joe, you said get back 2 or 3 years ago. I'm going to reprimand you in public. He was doing this in December before he got hurt. I feel like we've separated Luka from like pre-injury. He was looking phenomenal. And then he got hurt. And then he couldn't make twos anymore.
But why did he get hurt, though, Ox? I mean, not Ox, Swiper. Why did he get hurt? He got hurt because he wasn't taking care of himself. Because his body wasn't.
I think that lower body injuries are funny though. You never know when you don't know like when you're going to get hurt with that stuff. If that makes sense.
But I think a lot of
guys. I think you do. I think with the lower body injuries, I think there's signs and signals that people just ignore. Like for sure. This is doctor in Houston. His name Dr. Tony. Boy, he stick them needles and them pins in.
What kind of Dr. Tony?
Huh?
What kind of doctor? Like a Dr. Sebi?
No, not like Dr. Sebi. He's just like a what you call that? A physical therapist kind of doctor. Boy, he stick them pins and them needles in your leg, and it tell you like where the pain is at. And boy, he get right on it immediately. Like, and then like it happens. Like I know my homeboy do that all the time. Like he can feel his body acting a certain way. Like, oh, that was a little tight. Let me go ahead and get this fixed. You can feel it. People just ignore it. Like you just ignore it and keep trying to push through it. And when you got a 82 game season, that's a long season. That's a long time to be ignoring them injuries. You got to go get your body checked out. You got to go do the work. And I know it could be annoying. Like imagine you get out of basketball. Well, they don't practice in the NBA like that. But imagine you got to spend a lot of your time just going to go get therapy and doing those type of tests during the season. And it hurt like hell too. Like when they drain that blood in your calves and all that stuff and move it around, that stuff hurt like hell. So I can see him doing that. So I agree with Chill. He probably should have been taking care of his body a little bit better, diet, eating a lot better. But at the same time, 82 games a long season. You're not playing 100% healthy every game anyway.
And he's doing. That's what I mean when I say reintroducing myself. Because Dame, I think this is the best shape that I've seen Luka in since he came into the league. This season, definitely. I mean, this summer, this is probably the best shape that I've seen him in. And with that being said, I mean, that goes a long way when I'm feeling better. That does a lot with my confidence.
So he'll be really good offensively again, and then he'll be getting obliterated defensively again. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't think that's going to be the case. And the reason why I don't think that's going to be the case, here's why, Swiper, and follow me on this one. He hasn't been. Don't get me wrong. He isn't Drew Holiday level defender. I'm not. He's
not even Denny Avia.
No, but you know what he is?
He's giving me weight.
I know. You know what he is? You know what he is doing, though, Swiper? He's giving me a lot more effort on the defensive end, which is all we ever asked
in the NBA. No, this
and then when
EuroBasket is different than the NBA.
100%. And the reason why it's different is because there's more pride there. So I'm getting way
more
defense.
He was getting cooked versus Serbia when he got mismatched to the side to advantage.
That doesn't mean that he wasn't giving the effort, though, Swiper.
But he gave effort in the NBA too. He never.
Doesn't give nearly as much effort. That's not true. He's not giving nearly as much.
No, because I'm not gonna let y'all spin this narrative. He is always given first level efforts, especially when the Mavericks went to the title. The issue with Luka is the second. I'm telling you, based on what I already talked to y'all about when the run happened.
Yes,
you was wrong then. You're wrong now.
He always gives first level effort, and then he doesn't give secondary and third level.
You're talking about recovery. Sure,
he never does that. And the issue is in the NBA again. That's still going to be the other side of that equation. It's that he has to be able to do that stuff, especially given how compromised the Lakers will be defensively. So I don't actually think it's going to improve. I just think that has always been his best thing. Just like we said about Carmelo Anthony the other day. So his best thing is playing on ball versus other wings.
And that's fair. And that's fair, Swiper. But two things really quickly, David. Two things. Number one, that second and third level of effort, I've seen that change right here in the EuroBasket tournament.
No,
he's actually recovering. I 100%. I just haven't seen it. I have seen that effort. I just haven't seen it as much as consistently as some people would like for it to be. They want it to be every play, and it's not going to be because again with Luka, we're going from this to this. We're not going to do that. We're not going to be able to go from here to here. So what we're doing is we're taking steps. And Luka 100% competes on plays. He 100%. I'm watching him yesterday against Germany, where he gets beat and he actually gets back into play. He wasn't doing that in Dallas.
He didn't play defense on ball at all in the second half. The whole second half.
Yes, he did play defense on ball.
No, he did not.
I'm watching it. The
only stop he got was the one where Franz Wagner didn't want to get a charge call in transition.
So he did play defense in the second half on ball. That's 100% he did.
No. It was transition.
Yes,
but he was the low man.
You're not going to do that.
A low man.
Chill.
You're not going to talk over me. A low man in transition is not the same as playing on ball in the half court. So he had to play off the ball the entirety of that quarter in half in order for them to be able to survive with him defensively. But again, Luka wasn't hurting them because in that game, they didn't have anything they could do to throw at Luka because they were doing a great job of hiding him and switching, which is what you should do for a player of that level, by the way. You should be doing that. And they hit him very similar like OKC, hit SGA. It's just that I think with Luka, when you get to the NBA, you're not going to be able to do that versus the Rockets. You're not going to be able to do that versus the Nuggets or the Clippers or these other teams.
Because I think that you're leaving out something very important. I think that you're going off of something that happened in the past and completely leaving out what happened yesterday. The fact that he was in foul.
I watched the game yesterday. I just said what happened yesterday.
I did, but here's what you're leaving out. You're leaving out the fact that he was in foul trouble. And with him being in foul trouble, no, you didn't, Swiper. You said that he didn't get a stop in the second half.
I said he had 4 fouls and didn't play any half.
You said that earlier on when we were talking about them. I'm talking about this instance right now. He had 4 fouls, which means that they had to protect. Defense. No, that's not why you said he didn't play defense. You said
I had already noted that the reason why he had to play off the ball because he had 4 fouls, and so
that's
for the rest of the half had to play off the ball. But so even in that instance, they weren't doing anything to bring him back into the action because they couldn't.
That doesn't mean that he wasn't competing on the defensive end.
It's not about competing. It's never been about competing with Luka.
That's what it is for me. When it comes to Luka on defense, that's what it is for me. I need to see him compete, and I've seen him in this tournament compete more on defense on a consistent basis. I've seen him compete more on a consistent day. Even if it's worse athletes, it doesn't make a difference. I'm still getting that effort
because the difference is
when you're trying to put him, and that resonates.
When you're trying to put him in a context of playing in the NBA versus elite athletes, it's going to be different.
Bando,
that's it. And Bandos, and literally, they're
even with those guys like DeAndre Ayton, who can rim protect and man the paint. They see Luka playing defense, and in addition to them seeing Luka playing defense, Luka sees them as defenders, and that gives him more confidence to compete on the defensive end and be a secondary defender and recover. That gives him more confidence, and I love the fact that the EuroBasket tournament is ending when it's ending, so we can segue right into the
when they bring him into the action again,
being a month away.
When they bring him in all the actions again in the half-court setting versus the lead offenses, what's going to happen? What will change? What will be the difference? He's still got to get around screens.
The effort's going to be better.
But effort and ability
have to stay in front of someone.
Yeah, the effort and ability are 2 different things. He still can't. He does not have the ability to stay in front of Edwards. He doesn't have the ability to stay in front of these other players that are cooking him. He doesn't have the effort to get around on the screen versus the Nuggets consistently.
Yes, he does.
He's never been a screen navigator, and he won't be a screen navigator. He doesn't have the ability to do it. Yeah, he
needs to be a better help guy. He needs to be better around the rim. He needs to stay in front of people. He needs to pick up men in transition. This is all effort stuff. You hope that him getting in shape helps the effort stuff. But my thing is, people are jumping the gun for him being in shape now. But I'm keen to see him in shape in April, May, and June when it actually matters. We've seen this even before from Luka, getting in shape before the season. We see it from James Harden sometimes. We see it from heaps of guys. Ben Simmons shooting threes in the offseason. We see these guys look incredible. But I need to see Luka in peak physical condition in April, May, and June when the Lakers are about to go against all these Western Conference contenders that have improved, the defending champs. I need to see Luka in top-notch condition then. Because in the Minnesota series that we just watched, that guy, even with an elite handle, needed a screen every single time bringing the ball up because Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the Minnesota Timberwolves were pressing him 94 feet. And he needed a screen every time, even with an elite handle. So I need him to be explosive come playoff time. That's when I need him to be explosive. I'm happy about it now. But I need to see it when it matters as well.
And I think that the divide between you and me, Swiper, is that I think Luka is now a better defender. No, I don't think Luka is ever going to be an elite defender. What I'm looking for from Luka, because I've seen Luka get in the stance. I've seen Luka stay in front of people. Maybe not Anthony Edwards. No, maybe not Darius Garland, because it's difficult to stay in front of guys on a consistent basis. But what I am looking for is I'm looking for the effort, because what I've seen in the past, which makes Luka such a bad defender, which breaks down his team defense, is his rotations aren't there. When he gets beat,
that will never be there for hhim, though.
He completely gets out of the play. That's the difference with Luka. Watching him in this EuroBasket.
But Chill, do you understand why, though, from a mechanic standpoint? Because it's not just the effort. When he does have to slide over, Luka's feet are so slow on those slides when he has to, like, for instance, like Jaylen Brown and the Celtics when they were playing versus him, when you get Luka in rotation, his feet are demonstrably way slower than the ball handler's dribble speed or foot speed. So when they're going to get downhill on that anyway. And then Luka's going to allow for them to blow by, which is what the Mavericks did, but they had Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford to be able to rim protect. So what I'm saying is, in this instance, DeAndre Ayton's not that type of defender. And I'm like, I think Ayton's a good player, but he's not that type of defender. The issue is if you're turning Luka into, again, he doesn't have the ability to do it. So now you're sliding by him. So then now it's DeAndre at the rim protection, and then LeBron and Austin Reeves and all that. They don't have the infrastructure to make that work consistently. Now, what they did with JJ Redick is they packed the paint, and they'll probably do that again. They'll just do the pack paint thing, and hopefully don't hit outside shots. Again, that's going to be a 3-point variance thing. But Luka, what I'm saying is that I think he had good position. I've already said Luka's best asset is his on-ball defense. I've already said this. But I do think, Chill, that when he gets to play versus some higher-level offensive players, it is going to be the same story. It's just, will Luka be able to make enough shots on the other end to offset what he will allow on the other end of the board?
And that comes into the scoring, which I just talked about not too long ago, with him being the best scorer in the game. I think that that's going to ultimately happen again. With that being said, I think that they're going to put him in space where he doesn't have to cover Anthony Edwards. Even though these teams do mismatch hunt like the way that they do, I don't think that he's going to have to cover Anthony Edwards on a consistent basis. I don't think he's going to have to, because we got Marcus Smart, because we got Vando, because we got guys like that on the perimeter who can attempt to deal with these guys, unlike Luka, that's going to be his primary matchup. No, we're not going to do that. What I am going to see from Luka, however, is when he does have those secondary offensive players on him, because I don't expect him to slow down Anthony Edwards. I don't expect him to slow down Fred Van. I don't expect him to slow down the better offensive players in the Western Conference, like Steph Curry. I don't expect that to happen. But what I do expect him to do is I expect him not to break down his team's defense. I don't expect him to wreck his team's defense. I expect him to rotate better, because I've seen that in the EuroBasket tournament. I have seen him stay in front of a guy. I have seen him be able to stay in front of a guy, and if a guy beats him, attempt to recover as opposed to just giving plays up. I've seen him do that, and that's what I'm looking for from Luka more on a consistent basis, especially considering the crew that he's going to be on this year. I think that.
What does that mean?
I think that we're going to get that.
They're not going to be a good defensive team. They'll be one of the worst in the playoffs easily, for sure.
So
you can't just say that, Swiper. You don't know that.
I'm making a guesstimation that they will be
based on personnel, Swiper.
Yeah,
okay.
Based on personnel.
Swiper, now, if you say that, but the way you say this things so definitively,
the Kings will not be one of the 6 best teams in the Western Conference. Definitively,
that's a completely different statement.
How is it different? That's my opinion. What's the difference?
Okay, but what I'm saying is the way you. All right, forget it. Okay, so you got your opinion, and that's fine. I don't want to try to debunk your opinion. You're right.
I want to get back.
But I will say though is Chill. Before you get back to that, Chill. Before you get back to that, and I just want to say this real quick, and then we got to pay some bills. But before that, I just want to say everything I heard from y'all is just completely disgusting and nasty. Luka Doncic has gotten himself in the best shape that we've seen Luka Doncic in since he got drafted. He's showing that he can play defense. He has shown before that he can play defense. Agreed. A lot of it comes down to being out of shape and going by that old sick thing where they say, oh, well, an offensive player can't play defense too because he's not in good enough shape. Y'all know how they say that shit, but he's back to being a basketball player. So to say that he's not a good defender, I think is just completely false. That's why I had been so upset with Luka, because I know he could play basketball, and he was giving no effort. When he gives effort, he is actually a good defender. Now, this coming from you, the guy that
decent
gives
defender,
a good defender. The guy
serviceable.
Not serviceable, a good defender. Now, this coming from a guy that gives Jokic so many passes because he has good hands is disgusting.
No, the Jokic is proven to be a much better playoff defender than Luka. We don't have to keep doing this again.
Yes, no, Swiper. I agree that.
But you've never called Jokic a good defender.
Well, I don't think he is a good defender.
So never mind. So what I'm saying is that Luka is on the ball. I think he'll be a better. He's always been a good defender, like a serviceable defender. But again, chill. All I'm saying is I want to see him make those secondary and other rotations that I have seen him not make. That we watched him on the highest stage in the world not make, into where Jaylen Brown and them, if they're too explosive for Luka, Luka will literally ole. And the next thing you know, they're banging on somebody in the rim, and then
Man,
Daniel
Jokic do the
Gafford
same thing. Jokic move out the way when people come downhill at the rim. Like, it's
what I'm saying is that I disagree. He does that consistently, though. I think it depends on like who it is, and because he's just not going to be able to block the shot. So you got to give whatever. But I'm saying that Jokic does a better job of allowing for you to get.
Than Jokic is.
Okay, we're not going to start lying. I'm not. No. We're not going to start lying. We're not going to stop lying. Don't
whistle. A better post defender than Jokic.
Don't whistle. Don't acknowledge it. Just move on.
Why would we not acknowledge the truth?
All I'm saying is,
why would we walk past the truth?
Because Jordan, I just want you to know how nasty Ox is. If I tell Ox that you realize that Anthony Davis shot 40% versus Jokic in the playoffs in the post, he's going to say, well, that doesn't matter because he had helped defenders and all that kind of stuff. So that's actually what he shot. But I'm saying, so you don't have any argument there. So I'm just moving on. All I want to say is, Chill. I just want to see him. I just want to see him do it, Chill. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see him do it. That's all I'm saying.
No, hold on, Chill, because there are you want to get to the numbers. I heard that all year last year.
You heard that. You heard or right, which one?
But I heard this from you, Penn, and Mars about how Luka Doncic is one of the best post defenders by numbers.
For a wing? Yeah.
No. In the
for
NBA.
A wing. No, for a wing. They don't compete with bigs in post defense.
And so, but Luka has been put on bigs because of his inability.
And he's getting fried. What are you talking about?
Not that many bigs post up.
Well, I'm saying, but if it's Anthony Davis or one of them, he's getting cooked. If it's like, I don't know, Jonas, not Jonas, because Jonas could put work on.
Do the numbers matter?
Chet Holmgren or something. I don't know, maybe.
Do the numbers only matter for Jokic?
No, because if you put Luka on a scoring big, he's not stopping any of them.
Okay.
They don't even stop each other, number one, let alone Luka Doncic stopping Joel Embiid or Victor Wembanyama or Jokic or Anthony Davis. Like, he's getting fried.
That's a moot point because
but to your point, Chill, part of the equation is Luka has to be so devastatingly good offensively to outweigh some of those shortcomings defensively. Similar to how Steph Curry is put in every action, but no one ever questions his effort on defense, even though we know he's not a great defender. But he's put in every action. But he's so devastating offensively, has so much gravity offensively that it outweighs some of that stuff that we make peace with defensively with him. And Luka's going to be the same. If he can be a better help man, if he can stay in front of the initial action, the secondary action's hard because you get drag screens, you got double screens. It's hard for him to navigate. Like you said, Swiper with the foot speed. He just needs to be a bit better in those respects. Be a good team defender. Do the right things. Man, the Lakers will be a better defensive team.
And I think that they will. I think, Swiper, you underselling the fact that you have better perimeter defenders now. I think that you're underselling the fact that you have better perimeter defenders now than you had. Swiper, give me a better perimeter defender that Lucas had than Marcus Smart. Go.
Last year, Marcus Smart?
Go, Mark, go.
Last year, Marcus Smart?
Go, Swiper.
No, because if I say the name, you're going to be like, oh, no, well, blah, 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 blah.
Because, again, we got a Marcus Smart coming into camp. He's healthy. He's
the
ready
one
to
that
go.
played 31 games in the last 2 years?
100%. So, same thing with Vando, who hasn't actually
Vando?
Vando, the same guy who actually has been working.
Is Vando going to play in the playoffs next year?
But he's been working. Yes, he's going to play in the playoffs.
So they're going to play 4 and 5 again offensively.
Even if they're going to play, it has nothing to do with what we talked about. We talked about defense. That's what we're staying.
Jordan, you hear what I'm saying?
I know, but you dejecting from what Chill
100%. We're talking about them being a defensive team, and once again, Vando now not being injured and working on his game this summer and being a defender, which can help Luka. Now he's able to help Luka. In addition, Marcus Smart, who's healthy coming into this season. Marcus Smart is still one of the better perimeter defenders in the game, who is also going to be taking the primary matchups
until they switch, which is what we're doing.
So
we're switching.
Okay, and again,
So then,
saying switch
but
on
then
it.
if you
We're
trap
not
at the
gonna
level,
switch.
but then you understand how this is going to work, and then you're going
I
to
do
try to
understand how
trap
this is gonna work.
to prevent Luka from taking that matchup, and then Jordan, he's going to run the hump to try to get back. So then Jordan, what am I going to do? Then I'm going to send an action off what I know he's going to do, so he tries to avoid that matchup, and then we're going to get literally an overloaded defense on this side of the court, and we're going to take advantage of that by putting somebody high or putting somebody low towards the basket to offset that. And I'm saying it still presents issues for the defense if you want to hide him. The best solution for me, and I said this already, for me in the NBA, I would rather just switch, chill. I'd rather just switch.
I'd rather just fight over the screen. I'm not switching shit.
Me too, Drench.
But I know,
Drench.
but
That's what I want to do.
Because Drench, you understand obviously from a basketball level standpoint, right? Like if I'm driving, say I'm like I call for the screen high.
I got Luka on the wing.
And what Detroit did last year, by the way, which is what the Nuggets will do with Tim Hardaway. I actually noticed this last year, but y'all don't listen to me because I am too good at what I do sometimes. When last year with the Detroit Pistons, I'm just kidding, they would overload the left side, Jordan. When you would try to do that with Cade Cunningham, they would put Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. on the opposite end, because then when you tried to overload to keep Brunson or whoever from doubling off the top on Cade, they would throw it to the wing. If you got the man, run out to him, they would throw it to the corner for Tim Hardaway, and they were killing the Knicks doing that. And I'm saying in this instance, like especially versus these really good offensive teams, they're going to make sure that the Lakers have to overcompensate for having to do that with Luka. And when I'm saying I would much rather them just switch with Luka and you live with the results at that point. Because for me, giving up an open three on an additional rotation on the other side, Jordan, is more pain. Like that will cause more stress on the defense than just Luka. Hopefully you stay in front of not, and we can help at the rim.
I also think, Swiper, to your point on that, as far as what the Lakers would do with Luka on defense, if every team think they're going to attack Luka with their best scorer, it's only going to be so many times you're going to waste possessions by trying to do that shit. Like, it's not going to work every time. Like he's not just just an open invite to somebody scoring 30. Like, you're going to waste a lot of time, and they're going to scheme it up to where they're going to overhelp or they're going to blitz a little bit. So, so like it doesn't necessarily have to mean Luka's going to be in every action. You're going to lose like that if you want to do that.
Sure.
By the way, Marcus Smart might not even start. Like, unless Austin Reeves is going to the bench, which they should.
No, not gonna happen.
Marcus Smart's not even going to start.
Marcus shouldn't start, but he should still play significant minutes.
So you got Reeves.
Go ahead.
So you got Luka, Reeves,
LeBron, go ahead, finish up, Damien.
Rui, and Ayton.
That's gonna be their five. Yep.
I can see Reeves going to the bench later on in the season.
We got to get to this read. We're talking Splash Sports.
Swiper.
That's your cue, Swiper.
Oh, my bad, bro. I was reading something else.
Video game voice.
We got exciting news, y'all. It's official. Player's Choice is officially partnered with Splash Sports. These are paid fantasy contests or games of skill where you compete against each other, not the house. We're starting with NFL alongside the press box, and we'll get in on the NBA too in the next few months. We're starting off with 2 fire contests that y'all can compete with us on for the NFL season. We got 50K Survivor Series and 15K Weekly Pick'em, and they're live right now. Link in bio and or description. At the top of the comments. Must be 18 or older to play. 21 or older in Massachusetts, Iowa, Arizona, Louisiana, and 19 or older in Alabama, Virginia. Paid partnership. Terms apply. Tap in. Splash Sports. Y'all know what time it is. Let's get to it.
No doubt. Appreciate that, Swiper. If you have been living under a rock, or if you've just not been here and you don't know, I want to remind y'all what's happening. We are back. The PCL Season 3, where you will find the best basketball debaters, not only on YouTube, but in the whole entire world. We got 4 captains this year. We're doing it a little different for the season. I will be a captain. Jordan will be a captain. Chill will be a captain, and Swiper will also be a captain. If you turn your attention down here, you will see the panelist pool. We got none other than Penn, Gifted, Mustard, Joel from Pick a Side, ZZ, Matty Ice, Real Talk, Hayes, Jay, Dion from Ohio, Sports Fluent making a return, and Pirate. So you don't want to miss this. Tomorrow, we will be picking our teams. We will have 4 teams we will compete against other teams, and then the winning team will compete against each other for the final grand prizes. If you are involved in this, or if you're just excited to see, make sure that you don't be late tomorrow. We will be doing our draft. Don't miss it. Get excited. The PCL season 3 is back in full effect, y'all. Don't be late to the draft tomorrow. Guys, we got some other interesting news. It seems as Cam Reddish is making a decision to take his talents overseas. How do we feel about that? Is it about that time for him to take his career across the waters?
I would have liked to see him in a different club. The Lithuanian club they love basketball out there. He's going to be a legend out there, but I would like to see him in a different club, maybe in a different setting, maybe with a team like Partizan, Panathinaikos, or something like that. So I feel like he can get the coverage that he needed because he's probably going to want to return to the NBA. Not that many people cover the Lithuanian basketball club as much as you would think so. I mean, it's a hell of a basketball city, though. Like, they love – or country. Like, they love basketball over there. But it's still developing and growing. So I would like to see him on a grander stage. He could be doing the same thing Kevin Porter did, too, though. You know, Kevin Porter went out there and, played a nice enough season, got back to the NBA. And those things can happen. But Kevin Porter was out the NBA for different reasons than Cam Reddish. Cam Reddish is out the NBA because they don't think he's a good enough basketball player. So I don't know, but I just would like to see him in a different club, I think.
It's possible. Dante Exum did it with Barcelona, came back.
Is he in a space? Is he in a space where he might have gotten an offer and maybe going over to Lithuania, maybe in terms of bread, it just makes more sense? Because we just
got an offer that wasn't. It probably was a training camp offer.
Well, that's what I was about to say, Drench. Because we literally just had this conversation a couple of days ago about Ben Simmons getting an offer to come to training camp, and it's probably for a little bit of money, and he's figuring, I can go over here, and because in the end, I am a professional basketball player, hence the term professional, and this is about bread, right? So if I could get more bread going over here and possibly play my way back into the NBA where I can get a guaranteed deal coming back over here for like 2 years or something like that.
We don't know. We don't know. Yeah, because we don't know how much bread Lithuania gave him. Like, to be honest, and I know a lot of people think just because you come from the NBA and you go to Europe that means you're going to get X amount of dollars. That don't necessarily mean that. Like in Europe, a lot of times they want you to prove you can play in Europe. Teams in Europe don't necessarily respect the NBA like people think they do. Like, they want you to go play in these lower and that may be why he's with the Lithuanian basketball club. I don't know. I doubt it because we've seen guys like Boston play for Fenerbahce now, but also he waited a little too long too. Like, that could be another thing. Like, you don't wait till you go to training camp and then try to go play overseas after they don't normally happen like that. So him waiting this long, they're already starting their season in the EuroLeague pretty much. They starting preseason right now. So I just think just the offers on the table for what made sense. I think he feel like he can go showcase his game there, which is.
I would just like to remind people that if you remember what NBA players said in the preseason stuff, the players had to vote on out of that class. What draft was that? 19 with Zion in them? I think it was 19.
Yeah,
19, they had to vote on who they thought was going to have the best career between Zion, Ja, RJ, Cam. They said Cam Reddish.
Yeah, they lied on that one.
I thought that was crazy at the time. I was like, was Zion in it? They said Cam.
I think it was kind of more on like build and stuff, just potential. I'm not
for
mad
sure, the wing
at that,
stuff.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that for Cam Reddish. I thought he was going to have a really good career, but chill. I don't think he's coming back. I don't think.
He's 26. He's 26.
I mean, he could. Of course, he could. I'm not speaking like Swiper. Like, I just know what's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
You do this all the time.
I do, but I'm not doing it right now. But honestly though, I think the NBA. I don't think it's happening for Cam anymore. I think he's had multiple opportunities. He's had multiple teams try to get it going. Play them in different roles, different positions, all different types of things. Make him a defender, make him a spot-up shooter, make him this or that.
For the Lakers, that's what hurt his career.
Regardless of the Lakers or not, he just wasn't getting it done anywhere. So I just think if you go based on that, I think this might just be his home. It might be time to get over there and become that player. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's great leagues over there, great money over there. You know what I'm saying? The NBA is not the end all be all. It's not close to the end all be all.
No, it's not.
There's so many opportunities. I mean, he could be down there in Australia playing for Illawarra next thing we know. You know what I'm saying? He could be anywhere. Yeah, he's a good basketball player. He's just not an NBA player.
Ox, is that really fair though? Ox, is that really fair? Because when he first came into the league and when he was with Atlanta, it wasn't bad. It was actually good. He was turning into a good NBA player. Then then he gets with Tibbs, and then it turns into something completely different. And you know as well as I do, when you get with an organization or a coach, that can be the perception on you moving forward. And I think that moving forward, that was the perception on him. He doesn't compete on defense. He's not that much of a scorer. He can't process plays. He's not that smart of a player. When in reality, maybe he was, and he just didn't get the opportunity to do that in the setting he needed. I think he got screwed up as a younger player. I don't think
that's the problem. That's the problem. What you just said. That's the problem. As a basketball player, you can't just have it. Can't always. And we have this conversation so much, and I hate the fact that we have to do this with these professional basketball players. If you're a basketball player, there can't just be one way you could play ball. I need you to be able to do this. You play for a different coach, okay? I need you to be able to do that. If you play in a different system, okay, I need you to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying? I can't babysit no professional basketball player. This is what I need you to do. I don't care what you did over there. I don't care what college you went to. That shit means nothing. Can you play ball? Can you play ball?
And I can play ball, Ox. But here's the difference. The difference is that when I get with you and you need me to do this, and I'm not thriving as well as I should at this. Now all of a sudden, the logic on me is I can't play because I played for you and I can't do what you actually see. That's the problem, Ox.
You're not good enough. He's not good enough.
I'm not good enough to play for you. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So because I'm not good enough to play for you, that doesn't mean that I can't play. But now that's the perception. Because now people are using me like you did. And now that goes around the league that now I can't play. When in reality, I haven't been in a space where I was successful. Like when I was in Atlanta, when it was turning into something. When I was in Atlanta, when I was playing with Trae Young, and I was a really good transition player. And he was finding me in transition. And I was doing well, which is, I think, his game, if I'm being honest.
Chill. Keep going. No, keep going. I want you to finish. I want you to finish the point.
But when I get with Tibbs, and Tibbs is now turning me into a defender / screen setter, and that's really not my game. But I'm trying, and it's not working. But the perception on me is now my attitude sucks. In addition to my attitude sucking, I don't really know the game, and then now that's the perception on me around the league. So whenever I get with other teams, that's what it is coming into that. And that's how I'm going to be used. And I'm not going to get the chance that I got when I first got into the league. The leash is going to be a lot shorter on me at that point than it would be as if I was when I was in Atlanta and I was doing what I was doing.
As it should be, Chill. Because now Atlanta, they got Jalen Johnson. They got Dyson Daniels. They got these guys down there that are doing that. And if Cam Reddish has to play with Trae Young to be successful, then he needs to find another Trae Young. But if he's not good enough for what he was doing, where he was thriving, when he was playing good, there's somebody else that does that better than him. So now I need you to spot up. I need you to play defense. I need you to be a screen setter, as you said, whatever it is. I need you to do that because I got somebody else that does what you're good at better than you. So if I agree with that. If you can't adapt and be something else, then no, you're not good enough. I think that's the reality of what we're dealing with at this level of basketball. This is such a high level of basketball that you're going to get a short leash when somebody's better at your job than you are.
And I also feel like, because I had to, say the same thing about Ben Simmons. I feel like what Ox is saying, that we have somebody that's better at doing what you do. You need to adjust, or you're not an NBA player. Like, that's just the bottom line. Like, it's only like we could only shelve roles and play types to certain guys, and that has a lot to do with money. That has a lot to do with who's better at that. So if Cam Reddish, for example, is a bucket, but I have two guys that gets buckets better than you do, at no point am I going to need you to really get a bucket like that. So the thing that's going to keep you on the court is you're going to have to play better defense. You're going to have to knock down your open shots. You're going to have to understand IQ. You're going to have to adjust your game in many different ways. Everybody in the NBA are good basketball players. Everybody in the NBA was that dude in high school, that dude in college. The name of the game is adjusting, and that's who plays the longest. And if you can't adjust, that's why you got to go play overseas. And until a team finds value in what you do and make an opportunity for you to show your value. Like, we all know this league is about opportunity. Cam is not going to get the opportunity that he wants because the team doesn't think he deserves that opportunity with what is given on the floor. So it's not, Ox ain't saying nothing wrong by saying he's not good enough. Yeah, he's not good enough to adjust. He's good enough for the things you think he's good enough at, but we got players better. And if you can't adjust, bye.
I
That's the
just
name.
think
I was going to say, when I covered the Lakers when Cam was there and they let you in at the end of practice, there was sometimes when I would walk away and I would say, how is this guy not in the rotation? How is this guy? How is this lottery pick not in the rotation? Because you used to see him do things in practice and it never translated to the game, but I used to walk away saying, how's this guy not in the rotation? But I think you guys all make great points where you got to do something well. You got to do something elite to stay in the NBA. Even guys like Landry Shamet, he shoots the ball, but he doesn't really do anything else elite, yeah? And I think Cam Reddish is one of those guys. He doesn't have his one thing that he does. He's a great athlete, but on the floor, when we put you out there and we need you to do something at an elite level, whether it's grab boards, stop the man in front of you, whatever the case it may be, hit open shots, he just never had that. And it's crazy to think because back in that draft, Swiper, what you talked about, there was talks that Zion, RJ Barrett, and Cam could go, like all three guys from Duke could go top 3. Like he had that type of pedigree. There's videos online where Anthony Edwards is saying when he was younger, Cam Reddish was the guy that dominated his team the most. Like he was that good. But again, Chill, to your point, it's a situation league, right? You go to Atlanta, it looks okay. Then you have issues with Lloyd Pierce. Then you go to New York. And Tom Thibodeau's a hard guy to crack. He's a hard guy for him to trust you in the rotation. Then you go to Portland, and Cam Reddish hasn't played more than 58 games in a season. He's only done that once. So he's actually was always injured too. So he's never got really a chance to get going in that way. So I think there's a lot of factors. But Ox, to your point, it's going to be hard for him to get back in the NBA because he doesn't do one thing at an elite level.
Right.
And when you
I think EuroLeague is a good place to be.
I just feel like when I'm a lottery pick, and as a lottery pick, it's obvious that the team, they're investing in me moving forward, right? So if I'm the 5th pick in the draft, if I'm the 6th pick in the draft, I'm clearly a part of this team's future. If they move off of me after year 2, okay, now I move into a different situation. There's a reason why this team picked me. Well, they picked me to do ba-ba-ba, and they think that I'm going to be special for them at this. Well, then I move on to this team, and then they want me to do something that I'm not as good at. I can still do it, but I'm not as good at it. And then they also have somebody else there. Well, now it's turning into something different, as opposed to me being in Atlanta. There's a reason, to your point, Ox, why Jalen Johnson is as good as Jalen Johnson is. Jalen Johnson is as good as he is because he's playing with Trae Young, because he's a really good transition player, because he is a damn good rebounder, because he can score in the post. That's one of the main reasons why he is what he is. Well, one of the main reasons why Cam Reddish was as good as he was, because he is a good guy to set up. It's good. It's easy to set him up one-on-one, which is what Trae Young does. Trae Young does set him up, set the table to get him in position where he can go one-on-one. Trae Young sets him up where he's in transition, where he can get the ball and go straight to the rim with it when it doesn't have to be something, when it doesn't have to be something where it's slowed down. That's his game. Well, now he gets to New York, where Tibbs is a very hard-nosed, strong-minded guy. I need you to get in the stance. I need you to rebound. I need you to defend. I'm not saying that I can't do that because I played for Coach K, right? I played for Coach K, and I can do that. But this is a different level of basketball here, and I do need some time to develop that. And don't forget, I was developing something differently when I was in Atlanta. Now I got to develop this over here, and the timeline is really short. Does that mean that I can't play in the NBA if I can't produce this immediately? What I was producing, what I'm good at over here in Atlanta, does that mean I'm completely out? And don't forget the part of him. And don't forget the part of me being in Portland where I ended up getting injured. So now me being out the lineup is even worse, because now there's other guys that we get to see as opposed to you not being here. I think that Cam Reddish is I think he is an NBA player. I just think that, unfortunately, he's gotten bounced around. I think it messed with his confidence. And I think that had he been able to be in a space like other lottery picks where I'm here 4, 5, 6 years, I think we would have seen something different from him.
Maybe so. I can agree with that, but that's what we're dealing with in the NBA. It's a cutthroat league. I need you to do something for me, and I need you to do something for me today. I don't have time to wait for you, Cam. I don't have, especially when you're dealing with a dude like Tom Thibodeau. Or you know what I'm saying? I don't have any time for you to be wasting. And that's why I say he's not good enough, because the elite players, the good ones, the great ones, they can do that. They can adjust. You know what I'm saying? They can adjust. Cam Reddish wasn't able to do that. And to your point, he got hurt. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But another guy, did you want to say something about that, Sweat? I was about to move on.
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to like keep going through the far, but long story short, I thought Cam was going to be good out of Duke, but you know, I just think situationally, because he got drafted to the Hawks, right? Yeah, the Hawks.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That situation was so tedious, bro. Like, I just, you know, the coaching was up and down. He needed a lot of development, but they didn't have necessarily the staff to build him out, and I think he just wasn't ready, you know, for the moment that kind of hit him. But he still can, honestly, like, you know, PJ Dozier, remember he went over there and became a way different player. So I think maybe that can help him out a lot. He's still super talented, and he's still so young. So maybe this is what he needs to grow up a little bit, and grow up in basketball terms. Right.
Well, yeah, I mean, shout out to Cam either way, man. Like I said, and I'm gonna keep saying it, I'll repeat it again. The EuroLeague is a great place to be. This is not a knock. This shouldn't be looked at like, oh, Cam, you're terrible. Some things just aren't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, Cam. I hope you have a great career no matter where it takes you. Another guy that's still looking for a home after, you know, some investigations went places. You know, I don't know. I guess the investigation on Malik Beasley is over as far as he's concerned, but in some extent, they're still questioning him about other stuff, I guess. I'm not sure, you know, whatever that is, but he's looking for a home. He's looking for a place to play some basketball. I'm curious to know, where do y'all think he will end up? And even more so, where is a good place for him to be?
It would have been Detroit if they would have just held up, and if they would have just waited, like we talked about early. And I do understand, Ox, that they didn't.
It was free agency. They didn't have time.
They ain't had time to wait, and I do understand that, because they probably would have gotten him on the cheap, and I think he would have been perfect for what they're doing. But now, like places like New York, like we could get him on the cheap. Indiana, they need a guy to stretch the defense. I love him back in Milwaukee, to be honest with you. I love him back in Milwaukee, and the fact that Milwaukee and Orlando. And the fact that, you know, all the money has dried up, I think that you're going to get something really good on the cheap, as opposed to what it would have been when free agency opened up. So instead of getting him on the books for 3 years at $45 to $50 million, you can probably get him for about $8 million right now on a 1-year deal, and another prove-it deal, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was reported 3 years, $42 million until this scandal happened. So he was about to get a big payday. The story, I mean, there's still reports this morning, still an investigation happening officially with the NBA. So a lot of question marks, but yeah.
Damien, what does that mean, man? That drives me crazy. Like, this still in the, like, if you take me off the hook, Ox, I just got let out the police station. You told me I'm no longer a suspect, but there's still an investigation going on. Why am I still involved in this? What are you still looking at me for? You just let me go. And by the way, Ox, I wasn't bailed out, right? I wasn't under arrest. You told me that I was good. We don't have anything on you. Why am I still involved in this? Why is there still an investigation going on? I'm not involved in this anymore. You did your due diligence. You found out that I wasn't involved in this. Can I go now? You said, yes, I can go. So why am I still under investigation? Or is it just a perception that because I was involved in this, or you thought I was involved in this on some level, that's why I'm still under investigation?
So I've seen that happen to somebody before. Get out in the morning and get rearrested, right? Like a couple hours later, right there on the spot. But go ahead about Malik. Where could we see him? I've heard a lot. The Rockets. I've heard the Rockets. I think the Rockets could use that shooting.
I think anyone who needs shooting. I mean, he made the second most threes in the league last year after Anthony Edwards. So, I mean, that speaks for itself in a high volume shooting league that we're in at the moment. Yeah, anyone needs 3-point shooting. Miami, Minnesota, you go back to Minnesota, they could use him because they just lost Nikhil Alexander-Walker to the Hawks. I mean, he probably feels a need there. But again, Chill, to your point, it's going to be a prove a deal. He left so much money on the table, so wherever he goes, it's going to be a prove a deal. It's going to be at the minimum. Can't go back to Detroit. They've got Duncan Robinson now. They've moved on. So it's a difficult situation, but whoever gets him is going to get him on the minimum because all the money is dried up. And he's probably going to be a good addition to them when he eventually gets cleared. But who knows when that's going to be?
Would a place like the Clippers?
No, man, stop bringing up the Clippers. They got 15 roster spots already. The Nuggets have 15. The only reason he wouldn't come back to Denver is because he had incidents fighting in Denver. Him and Sua Cravens got in a boxing match in a public forum. And he had a lot of stuff happen here. We got a 15th roster spot in Denver. He could come take right now. Sua Cravens. He played for USC. He was second round draft pick for the Redskins at the time, and then later got traded to the Broncos. He was a really good dual threat safety out of USC, but then didn't pan out in the league. But him and Malik got the.
You can guarantee whatever his name's Sua Cravens.
Sua Cravens. He was good too, bro. He's from Cali.
You can guarantee he started it, man. Football players always starting some shit.
They always start.
It was over 82, bro. It was bad. And
then Chill always starting some shit and then getting punched on. That's what happened.
Y'all hate football, man. Y'all dudes make me sick sometimes, yo. Football players, y'all always sticking your chest out, especially starting with basketball players. Y'all make me sick, yo.
Yeah, because your chin don't lift no weights. Getting punched on.
But so the Clippers are out. All right, so we'll take the Clippers off the table. Teams like no, I think the Trailblazers are good too. I think they're good with what they got. I like them in Orlando.
That's what I was gonna say. I seen somebody say that in the chat, and that sparked something. Orlando. I mean, if Orlando gets Malik, easy favorites in the East. They're already.
He makes that much of a difference, Ox. Orlando, he makes that much of a difference. Malik Beasley. Wow.
No, Orlando's already my favorite in these. And don't say it like that, Chill, because he just went crazy last year for Detroit. He brings a lot to the table. But I'm saying, after they got Desmond Bain, that put them as my new favorite in the East. As long as Franz and Paolo and Jalen Suggs are healthy, they got Desmond Bain. I already got them in the East. But if they were to sign Malik Beasley, no question, all my money on Orlando. I'll put the house on Orlando. Damn.
Oh. And Swiper's got
Orlando be cold too, bro. Yeah, that'd be nice. That lineup with Suggs, Bain, Beasley, and like Paolo and Franz, something like that. That'd be nice. Three legit shooters.
I know that you high on Orlando, Ox, and I know that you high on Orlando largely because of how you feel about Franz.
Better than Cleveland.
I'm high on them because of how I feel about Paolo. I don't think that they're better than Cleveland.
Definitely better than Cleveland.
I don't think that they're better than Cleveland, but I can see him being what KCP wasn't as a shooter, not as an overall player, but as a shooter. I can see him giving them that rotation guy that can knock down the long ball. In addition to already having Desmond Bain being a knockdown shooter too, if you got those two guys, I definitely think that helps. But when I see him in Milwaukee, so we got Gary Trent as a floor spacer, sure. Then you got AJ as a floor spacer. Is there run for Malik Beasley as a floor spacer? I think Doc would find run for him in Milwaukee, but I don't think that he'd get maximized there. So I don't think that Milwaukee works because, again, want to prove a deal. And I want to go somewhere where I'm going to be able to play significant minutes so I could get a long-term contract extension. Because let's not forget, Malik Beasley is like 24, like 25, something like that. He's not that old. Right? Malik Beasley is like between 24 and 26 years old. So he's not that old. So he's a dude that, with what I do as a long ball shooter, primarily, he can probably play another 8 to 10 years if he kept his nose clean, right? If he keeps his nose clean and we get past this nonsense of him, with this investigation, if we get past that, I think that he'll be in business.
I think every fringe team that's around there, San Antonio, Chicago, the Kings need some shooting arcs. Like there are so many. Which team doesn't need shooting, right? And the Lakers need shooting. Like everyone needs shooting, right? So I think he can. Yeah, but in Orlando, it's very intriguing. KCP gone. better 3-point shooter. Desmond Bain there, their offense ranked as some of the worst in the league last year, or some like historically actually in the playoffs. I think he can be good anywhere that needs 3-point shooting, and they're going to get him cheap. So it's a win-win, really.
I definitely think that's a good point, man. I mean, it's the NBA. Everybody needs a shooter. And with that being said, I'm just shocked that more teams aren't lining up to get Malik. I would assume that
he's still being investigated. That's why.
So Swiper, that's what I want to clarify, because I thought the investigation was over, but I thought they
first
said
one.
Okay, so what was that federal, or is that with the NBA, or like what is going on? Because
there's still another pending investigation that is around the sports betting stuff. That's from
the NBA, or that's from the outside agency.
Well, I believe. Let me see.
Okay, I got investigated by the FBI, right? The FBI
by the NBA. The NBA is investigating.
It's the NBA one.
So the NBA investigates me with private investigators who are also affiliated with the FBI. So how much more investigating do we have to do here?
Well,
what are we doing?
I think
when are you going to take me off the hook for this?
Well, the NBA they have to do their due diligence. They have to make sure that they cover their ass too. You know what I'm saying? Like, right. The FBI did their thing, and they're looking for federal charges. Now, I believe the NBA must to make sure that you just didn't break any league rules or team rules or contract.
Something different. All right.
So I can understand that if that's the case. Once again, I thought the whole situation was that he cleared his investigation, but I thought they were not necessarily investigating him, but he was like not even a person of interest. I just thought he was getting questioned about a deeper investigation. So I was wrong about that.
Yeah, it's very layered. This it's not just gambling. Apparently, he owes money to a lot of sort of bad people, and it's pretty layered. So I think
he's on his Michael Jordan time right now.
That has nothing to do with my job. By the way, so Ox.
Absolutely.
No, that absolutely does have something to do with your job, especially for the NBA, because the NBA they pretty much got their own private, whatever you call it, you know what I'm saying? They got their people that can't do that, right? But if the NBA knows that you're getting tied in with bookies and underworld types, that absolutely affects your job. And,
so he's being sued by the Hassan Sports Management Group in July for a breach of contract. They're seeking $2.25 million in damages from him, and then also in August he was evicted from his high-rise apartment in downtown Detroit. This is from Yahoo Sports, by the way. Because he didn't pay
which was owned by which was keep going, Swipe.
So Beasley was evicted from his high-rise apartment in downtown Detroit for failing to pay a total of $21,500 in rent. So he wasn't paying rent, and he owes $2.25 million to an agency. So all the way around, he's in debt and clearly doesn't have the money on the books that he should have based on the NBA contracts, in part because he has gotten in some shady business deals or it owes money seemingly to some people of pretty higher whoever is more important than paying your rent to, he owes money to them.
Yes.
So we can put that together.
Which you make a fair point with that, Swiper, but that would motivate me to try to get money fast, right? So if that's motivating me to try to get money fast, that's where the whole betting thing comes in. Enter the FBI. So we investigate all of these things. And to your point, when you talked about him getting evicted from his apartment, just so you know, that's Dan Gilbert. That's the company that owns the apartment building that he lived in, that he got evicted in. So yes, Dan Gilbert.
But Chill, that's the issue, Chill. Like what you just said right there. That's the thought process of a guy like Malik Beasley, and that's how come he keeps getting to a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. A guy like a young dude, Chill, that's like, okay, I owe some money, I need it fast. Let me go gamble. That's how, like, what? Like, probably stop gambling.
And that's fair, Ox. But the point that I was making when I said that's why the FBI came in, only to find out that, you know what, we got this wrong. He didn't have anything to do with this. So now the NBA comes in with their investigation. So now what we got to do is we have to we have to look at league rules now to that point. Okay, so I clearly wasn't betting on games. Okay, I wasn't betting on myself. I wasn't betting on games. So that's not going on, which is already proved by the NBA, the FBI. So what exactly could I possibly be investigated for in the NBA? Because that's what this was about in the beginning. That's what this was all about. Me owing rent to somebody else, me owing rent to people. That's why the FBI was investigating me, because that motivated the gambling allegations. So what could I possibly be investigated for in the NBA? What kind of bylaws suggest that I should still be investigated?
I don't know. I think that's what they're trying to figure out. I know one thing, Chill. If I have an NBA player that's making millions of dollars, right, and I see that you're getting evicted and not paying, you don't got this, something's going on, and I don't even need to know what's going on. I don't care. I don't want you over here. You know what I'm saying? Something is happening, and I don't even need to get to the bottom of it. I know that if you're making millions of dollars and you're not paying your rent, you're just either immature, you're involved in shady deals, or whatever it is. I can't trust you, okay?
And it's very unattractive. It's very unattractive for potential suitors for him as well. Like, would you want to get in this mess? Do you want to be associated with someone like this? So I think it's tricky, very tricky situation.
Being able to shoot the long ball, is that worth this headache?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. No, being able to shoot the long ball, is that worth this headache? And on top of that, how much longer is it going to continue? Because again, we do know that when the FBI investigated him, they didn't find any wrongdoings. Legally, they didn't find any wrongdoings. He might just be, because Malik Beasley has shown that he can trick the bag. He did that in Minnesota. He's shown that he can definitely trick the bag, 100%. But with that being said, if he isn't involved in any shady stuff illegally, all right, well, now it's just a matter of, you worried about me paying my bills in terms of rent. I mean, are you worried about who I'm going to have around me when I'm working here? Are you worried about what kind of company I'm keeping? What I care about when you work here is do your job. That's it. Do your job. Phil Jackson did this with Dennis Rodman. This what time practice is. This what time games are. This what time the plane leave. What you do outside of that, that is not my concern. You come here, you produce. That's all that's important. With Malik Beasley, who has already been investigated by the FBI, that would be the idea. And I understand, Ox, where you at with that when it comes to the headache part. Because, I mean, the last thing that I want as an employer is to have an extra headache. I already got these amount of headaches that I already have on the roster. Do I want this extra headache? Well, it's going to be cheap, so can I consider it? Is it that bad? Yeah, I would consider it. That's why people are interested, for that reason right there.
Right. We don't got too much time left. Let's get into some super chats, y'all. Let's see. Let's see what we got. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Swiper. I apologize for that. Let's not do the super chats yet. Let's talk about something else that's been coming up. Let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. I know just not yesterday, or was it yesterday, the day before, we were talking about Jonas Valanciunas, and if he was in fact one of the better backup bigs in the league. But you guys made a lot of moves, Swiper, this offseason, and I, for one, think that they were really good moves. I think they were big moves, and I think it made you guys a better basketball team. Swiper, are y'all poised to make another run for another ring?
Swiper, before you answer that question, just so you know, I was up here fighting for my life yesterday when I was talking about Valanciunas. Yes, I was.
We were getting robbed.
I was up here fighting for my life yesterday. We was up here because they telling me that I'm wild as hell, that I think Valanciunas is arguably, if not the best backup big in the game, that he can't score. Not only can he not score, he's getting played off. I was up here fighting for my life yesterday. I just want to put that out there. But go ahead.
As soon as Valanciunas came to us, when he went to the bench, instantly, he's the best backup big in the NBA. I didn't think about Naz Reid. Okay. But that's it. I think he's better than Steven Adams. I don't care what anybody says about Steven Adams.
Offensive. Naz Reid doesn't play like a traditional big anyway.
Right. He doesn't, but still, I think Naz is better. But Daniel Gafford, I think he's better than Daniel Gafford. I think he's better than Steven Adams. I still stand on that. Yes, I think he's better than Brook Lopez. Yes, I do. But when I tell you, Swiper, yesterday, they had me and Chill in headlocks and chokeholds. But he can't move. He can't move his feet on the perimeter.
We was in the corner, Ox. We was in the alley in the corner. Like, come on, come on.
Yeah, he's been good for a long time.
If my 7-foot big man can't switch on to Kyrie Irving, I don't care.
Yeah, so I heard a lot of that talk that y'all had, and I think for me, Jonas Valanciunas has always been a very good post scorer, very good paint scorer. Years ago, Chill, when I was gathering all the, the low post data for like, Jokic and Embiid, like MVPs, the names that would constantly pop up were Kristaps Porzingis and Jonas Valanciunas. So I would have to filter out, okay, let's do 4 more post possession. Otherwise, they're going to be at the very top every single time. And I'm like, well, they're clearly not the best post scorer. But the thing is, Jonas is a very efficient post touch player. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. He's a very good offensive rebounder, very good DHO player, very good passer out of that spot too. I actually think Jonas is going to mean a lot of difference because now he's going to be playing with Bruce Brown, Peyton Watson, Cam Johnson, Christian Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr. And I know I heard Penn saying yesterday about the defensive stuff, but I just want to tell people, like, I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but when Willie Green had Jonas Valanciunas and Jackson Hayes starting with Herb Jones and CJ McCollum and one more player, I think DeJounte Murray, they had a number 1 defense in the NBA for a stretch. They made it work.
And that was largely due, and this is why I think Denver, like, I thought the defense was overstated, because I think that with Valanciunas, as good a rebounder he is, they're going to stop a lot of plays. They're not going to get a lot of possessions, a lot of extra opportunities, a lot of second chance points, because Valanciunas is one of the better rebounders in the game. And when you got a glass cleaner like that, very much like Steven Adams, where we can stop plays, that really helps out our defense. Okay, sure, he can't stay in front of Luka when he gets switched on to Luka. No, he can't stay in front of Anthony Edwards. But I know what he can do. He can rebound his ass off. 100% he could do that. And I love that about him.
Yeah, I think the rebounding, the offensive stuff, the DHO, I mean, he's going to be like really good in this system. And I think, the defensive stuff is what it is. But like, and I already said that they will play Jokic and Valanciunas together in spades.
I was going to ask you about that, the double big lineup. Yeah.
Versus the Rockets, they will for sure when they put out Steven Adams and Alperen Şengün, or they put a Clint Capella in there with one of them.
Ox, when I said that yesterday, did we not get pushed in the alley? When I said that they're going to go to the double big lineup, why would they go to the double big lineup? What are those two? They're going to be horrible on defense. What are you? We got pushed in the alley, and I'm like, oh shit, come on.
But Swapper,
I said it so many times. Like, Damien, I know I haven't been up here with you, but I wasn't here that day. So Damien, I have a way of thinking about basketball that there's not one way to play. So just because a couple teams would never have 2 bigs on the court and they're good teams doesn't mean that you can't still play that way. I think that some people have a one-track mind when it comes to basketball. Like, there's only one proper way to play, and I don't think that's right.
No, Jokic is a good enough floor spacer that they can play the double big, right? And he can facilitate from the top of the key. They can definitely do that. And they're definitely going to do it against the Rockets. Why not? Why wouldn't you? But I think one of the big advantages of having Valanciunas is it takes away a guy in the conference, especially, that actually could match up pretty well with Jokic size for size. If you look at the contenders in the West, outside of probably Steven Adams, maybe Hartenstein, I'm not going to count Rudy Gobert because Jokic always toasts him. Yeah. You're actually taking away a guy that could actually match up with him, sort of physically, girth for girth, weight wise. Like, that's an advantage in itself to now have that guy on your roster. Similar to when the Sixers got Al Horford because he defended Joel Embiid so well, especially in the postseason. All of a sudden, you have the guy that was.
That's an understatement. That's an understatement about defending him well. He was putting the clamps on Joel Embiid.
Well, that's it, and it's a big advantage to sometimes have those guys on your team because it's another body that Jokic potentially won't have to deal with in a playoff run.
I think that's a great point. I mean, Ox, you and I had this conversation about Al Horford, and like Shaq talks about throughout his career, like, who's the toughest guy that you had to deal with? And he says Big Country. Like, a lot of people don't even know who Big Country Brian Reeves is, but he's like, I had a hell of a time dealing with Big Country. Al Horford is going to be that guy for Joel Embiid. Like, when Joel Embiid retires, who's the guy that you had the most difficult time with? I had a hell of a time dealing with him. Well, maybe that might be the case for Joker when Joker retires. Like, who gave you the biggest problems? It might be Jonas Valanciunas. But to your point, be able to take that guy away and have him on my crew, that makes my life way less difficult.
I think they're both going to have 20 and 10 games at some point this season, and I'm actually really excited to see how they work together. I think Bruce Brown's going to be great again with this team, especially defensively. They'll have more options than we have. Again, I don't know if y'all seen the Rico Hines runs at all, but everything I said about Cam Johnson is right, and Jordan was already getting packed up before the season starts.
If you going to look at some shit like that,
but to be fair, I also have all the NBA clips on my side. All I'm saying in this, Jordan, I'm jesting with you. Cam Johnson is such a much better, just even
Hey, you about to shit on Michael Porter Jr.
No. That's what I'm saying. Just if you let me talk, I can just say it very peacefully. He's a much better self-creator than Porter was. Porter just doesn't have the ability. You know what I'm saying is, if you go look at Cam Johnson last year with the Nets, again, as I brought this up, first 44 games of the year last year, 19 points a game on 63 true shooting. First 44 games of the year last year with that broke team, like he was playing phenomenal. And what I'm saying is that plus the development from the rest of the roster. And for me, it means a lot, Jordan, that David Adams already hinted at the double big lineup. David Adams also talked about there needs to be, this will be the most competitive year they've had in years in terms of who's playing because of the amount of options they have. Because remember last year, bro, they just, if you're on a team, you was going to play. They just didn't have enough bodies. But this year, because of the number of people that want second contracts, that are trying to move up in the NBA, Peyton Watson wants to get another contract. Christian Brown wants to get another contract. Tim Hardaway Jr. wants to get a contract. Jonas wants to either get out into another contract or go next year to Greece or whatever. And then you got obviously Julian Strother is looking for a deal at the end of this year. Bruce Brown wants another deal. There's just a different level of like tenacity that exists. And I actually think Cam Johnson's also up for a deal too. I think there's the right collection of like hunger, granted, if everybody's healthy, that I do think this team is going to be really good. I'm actually really excited to see how they play. And I'm really excited, maybe a little bit too much, to see how Jonas plays, without Jokic. I want to see what him and Bruce Brown look like, or him and Jamal Murray. Like Jamal Murray and Jonas would be nice too.
But that was my point with y'all getting Jonas, is that I don't think he's as good as Jokic. I'm not trying to say that, but I do think he can do some of the same things in the offense as far as facilitating, stretching the floor, rebounding on both ends of the floor, that when Jokic comes out the game, those non-Jokic minutes that we were so accustomed to hearing about won't be as detrimental to your team. I think that was a great pickup for them. And Damian, I didn't even think about that as far as, the size and physicality of Jonas. Now they take that away from another team and add it to their team. Not saying that I think Jonas is a Jokic stopper or anything like that, but when you're big and you clog up the paint, that causes a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's a really good point. One thing I do want to say, Swiper, because I don't want to be long-winded here, is when March, April, and May and June come around, Swiper, I don't want to hear no unplayable shit from you.
Facts.
So
Facts.
I think it's also important that I'm going to do my job, and if those players don't perform that day, I'm going to say that they weren't good. It's really that simple. I think what you all have to get comfortable with is there will be times where you'll get into games
political
and
answer.
Your team
I'm going to do my
won't
job.
be playing well. No, it's not political.
That's
I just think
it doesn't
need to be black and white. Jordan, if you suck on PC one day, we should have the right to say you were not good on the show today. And there have been times where that's happened and people said it to you, and you will get in the comment section and you'll argue with them. I'll go to the comments just to see if Jordan comes up and a negative comment, he's about to be like, oh, Ox, he'll just raise his hand and be like, then just don't watch the show then. Like me, the way that I work, I believe that I'm not above criticism. There are days that I'm great. I'm the MVP. I'm the panelist of the year. I'm phenomenal. But there are some days I might be a little, I don't feel like being here or whatever. I got something going on in life. I got to go pay this thing. Boom, boom, boom. I got a speeding ticket in Puerto Rico. I'm trying to take care of like today. So like, I'm a little on edge. Like
why you trying to take care of a speeding ticket in Puerto Rico? Boy,
bro, because I was trying to get by somebody, bro. And I was like, dude.
No, I'm saying, no. I'm saying, why you trying to take care of it? Boy.
We gonna what?
Well, they don't.
Chill. We gonna see Swipe. Y'all remember that show Locked Up Abroad? We gonna see Swipe on the episode.
No. By the way, if you get a ticket in Puerto Rico, they don't do points or insurance. They just do cash in Puerto Rico. I don't know if y'all knew that, but that's a whole nother thing. So Jordan,
we get our bread down here, Ox. We don't care about 3 points on your license. We need $500 for that speech.
Hey,
that's literally what it is.
Don't care about that.
Hey, Swiper. Catch me if you can. You'll never see him in San Juan again.
Hey, you?
Catch me if you can. Yeah,
but to be fair,
and Max, and look, I'm trying to turn a new leaf with some of these Dallas fans in the chat that don't know ball usually. Mad Max, I would just say you can literally go pull up like Shot Creator and you can go watch. There are drastic differences in the play there, but there are drastic differences in the play style of Porter and Johnson. So I just don't want anybody to be uneducated about what they are. But I will say I think the Nuggets should be a lot better this year, and I think you would agree, Ox. The Nuggets are much deeper this year than they were last year. Yeah,
that's why I'm as high. That's why to that point, Swiper, right there. That's why I am as high as I am on them, off the strength that I feel like every gap that you had last year, you filled it. Every last one of them. And you filled it not just with just getting guys. You actually filled it and upgraded. Like Tim Hardaway Jr. is an upgrade. Valanciunas is an upgrade. Let's see. Cam Johnson. I think that's an upgrade. As good as MPJ is, I think that's an upgrade to what you already had. I think MPJ was damn good, but I think that's an upgrade to what you had. So everything that you've done in terms of filling gaps just made you better. On top of having Jamal Murray, on top of having Joker, I think this team is the second best team in the Western Conference, arguably the best team in the Western Conference, and I would not be surprised to see the Denver Nuggets in the NBA championship next season. I would not.
And you consider they went 7 games with the champs, right?
Yes.
And it was on an imbalanced roster, and Aaron Gordon on a grade 2 hamstring in Game 7, right? So,
Damian, if that was January, he'd be out for a month, maybe 2.
Yeah,
if that happened,
and then they had arguably, one of the best off seasons in the league, if not the best. Yep. And all of a sudden, you're right back there, and you got the best player in the world, right? So,
Damian,
why not?
Who had a better offseason, Damian? The Nuggets or the Clippers?
The Nuggets. I think the best off seasons were the Nuggets, the Rockets, and the Hawks. I think they were the top 3 off seasons.
The Hawks had a better off season than the Clippers?
I think the Hawks had a great off season. Yeah, okay, I think the Hawks were one of like a top 3 off season from memory after I did a deep dive. Remind me, guys, Nickeil Alexander-Walker,
Karis LeVert.
You're
talking about Atlanta? I'm sorry. I apologize. You're talking about Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Detroit. Yeah, you're talking about Atlanta. I'm sorry.
They had a phenomenal offseason.
Who am I forgetting? Because I know they got Nickeil.
No, it's escaping me, but they had a phenomenal offseason.
They did. They bagged Nickeil.
It's late here.
They got rid of. They came off a Clint. They came.
Kristaps. Kristaps was
yeah.
Oh, that's right. Kristaps. Yeah, that's right. Okay, right.
They came off.
Okay, yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. They got Luke Kennard too.
Luke Kennard,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
Luke Kennard. Yeah, they got Luke Kennard too. Mm-hmm.
Where the fuck is in that?
Yeah, they got Luke Kennard too. So, I mean, this team's gonna be serious, Ox. Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, I still
like.
I think the John Collins pickup for the Clippers was an amazing pickup. And y'all know how high I am on Norman Powell. I still think Bradley Beal's better than Norman. And I think Brook Lopez being your backup center is amazing. Oh yeah, and they got Chris Paul too. Don't forget about Chris Paul, who Swiper is very high on.
I love Chris Paul. By the way, better than Fred VanVleet through November, like I said he was. And Mark still never gave me my money.
But that's not saying that they didn't have a great offseason as well, the Clippers. I think they did well as well.
Right on. Well, let's check out some of these super chats we got, y'all. Let's see. DB, stay off topic, but I learned how sick and evil the world is right now. The Lord will be here soon. Okay.
Oh boy.
That's definitely. Chris, keep it 100. Damn, gentrifying the sport. They are literally whoring out the NBA. Chris Keep 100 has been a member for 24 months. That's 2 years for y'all that don't know. Shout out to you, Chris Keep It 100. Are they whoring out the NBA, Chill?
They might be, but I don't think that's the same as gentrifying the sport. No, those two things ain't the same thing. Now, cleaning up my place and passing my chick around ain't the same thing. No, those two things are not the same.
But just on that gentrifying the sport, Jordan, have you seen that at the coaching level as well, where a lot of people are saying now the sport has become it's becoming a rich kid's game, even at the sort of AAU level. I'm sure you've seen some of that.
Yeah,
that's where Ox got the gentrifying the sport thing from.
Yeah, I mean, and it has been that way for like the last 6-7 years for sure. It's been like that to where it's starting to cost a lot of money to play. And even when parents was able to bring the money in to pay, what they did now is upped it up a level. Now you got shoe circuits. Like you can't even play on a regular local team no more. Your team got to be certified into the shoe circuit, whether it's Puma, Adidas, Nike.
What?
Yeah, like you can play on the local level without a shoe circuit. You won't get very many kids, and you won't get very much attention. Like now they got these flagship programs where you start, like teams have to pay money to go play on the lowest Puma circuit there is that nobody even care about. Mm-hmm. And that's like, why? Because y'all want to make bread. And it's like, realistically, parents can't afford that. Even this, for me, for the kids I coach, I try to bring water, Gatorade, all of that stuff for them. So I'll bring a cooler. They say you can't bring it into the gym.
Why not?
You can't. Yeah, because they gotta buy it. They gotta buy it.
You gotta buy it. I'm like,
yeah.
I feel like I'm like, what if I got a team full of kids who parents can't afford all that? What if they did everything they could to get their kid here, and that's all they can afford? They don't care. Yeah. Another thing is, you gotta now stay. If you play in a tournament out of town, you have to stay in the hotels that they provide, or they make you either pay more, or you can't play in the tournaments. Why?
We used to be scrappy. We used to stay anywhere we could. Motel 6.
Man, tell me about it. We used to have 5 people in one room. Like,
Jordan, with that being said, too,
that's where Jordan learned how to be a big spoon. Go ahead, Ox. My fault.
A lot of times, God damn. A lot of times with that too, though, as far as like sometimes some tournaments though, it's like when you depending on because you can go to the thing where to find tournaments too. Like say if you're at like a lower level AAU team and you're not getting like invitational stuff and you're looking for your tournaments, right? If you're looking for which I've done before, and you go to whatever platform it is, when you click on that to register, they will show you where you can get hotels that are giving you a better rate because you know what I'm saying they're going through.
It ain't necessarily a better rate no more, Ox. It ain't necessarily that no more.
Well, I know it's not necessarily. I'm not talking about all of them. I'm just saying like there are some that are helping. But to what you're saying about all the concessions and all that stuff is crazy. I'm telling y'all, we did a tournament down at Seal Beach down in LA, and we paid the registration. You know what I'm saying? Paid the registration for the tournament. The parents already had to come all the way down to Seal Beach or come up in this case to Seal Beach. Yeah. But then you have to pay at the door too. So it's like we paying for all
that's not included. The tickets ain't included.
No way. So for me, and I'm like, damn, I'm coaching. Like, what's up? I can't. My kids I got to pay for my kids, my girl, everybody. Chill. I'm telling you, for the weekend pass, just for my girl and my kids. No, for all of them together, it was $150.
For my family to get in.
At this time, it's my 2 youngest are like 5 and 6. They're not watching this shit. You know what I'm saying? They up there.
You should have put a jersey on them and just have them running the game.
So what I'm saying is they are 100%. I'm serious. I mean, these are the reasons why I'm saying they are gentrifying the sport. They're trying to price people out. You know what I'm saying? I mean, y'all know how business is. If you want some people not to come in your establishment, what do? You raise the prices. You set certain dress codes. You know what I'm saying? You make certain requirements. Like for instance, like anytime I'm doing like a gig where I'm working security, bouncing at a club or something, if the manager would tell me like, hey, if somebody come in that's dressed like this or look like this, tell them that the entry fee is $35. Even though we not even charging entry today.
But it's $30.
Yeah, tell them that.
But at the same time, chill. Listen, it's so many people in AAU trying to get money. Like people try to do this as a day job. Like, and it's like realistically, you only going to mess somebody up on the back end if you're trying to make this your day job. Like, because you're charging these kids $1,000 for the summer. Some people charge $300-400 a month. Some people charge for the summer $3,500. That's a lot of money. What does it show for? Like y'all go play every weekend. You might play in garbage ass tournaments, but it don't pay for their hotels. It don't pay for their travel. You on the Puma now, so now you're paying $3,200 for the whole AAU season just to get some bullshit ass shoes, a backpack, couple uniforms, and you still got to pay for traveling when y'all go to Oklahoma, when y'all go to this place, that place, to Atlanta, to Florida, and it's like that's too much. And it's like, why? Like AAU used to be the biggest tournament at AAU. A lot of times used to be in Vegas too. Like you used to have to qualify to get to that Vegas tournament, and that's cool. Now they don't give a shit about Vegas no more. I don't even know who go up to Vegas and play. Like you used to have to qualify to get to Vegas. Not no more. Don't nobody care.
Damn. My niece is she's in the AAU circuit. She's going into 10th grade, and I went to a tournament last 24. Yeah, 20 in September of 24. I went to a tournament with her at a high school, and they damn sure did charge at the door. I didn't pay. I walked right in. I was like, "Get the hell! I ain't paying to come in. to pay to watch a bunch of 14, 15-year-olds. You must be crazy."
Chill.
Now, they make you pay. I do understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I've hosted tournaments too. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. Like, now I pay for the gym. I pay for the staff to be here because you got to
get that bread back. You got to get that bread back.
When you do a tournament, you have to a staff has to be there the whole time. So you got to pay that. You got to pay something. You got to pay for if you want to use their clocks, you got to pay for that. You got to pay insurance. You know what I'm saying? So it's I understand.
Hey, you should cover their insurance, but
it depends either way. So you got to pay for refs, all of that. You got to pay for stuff. So I understand it's a business and I'm not supposed to take a loss here, but at the same time, I try to make it to where each kid gets a ticket like a parent. You know what I'm saying? One parent can get in. Everybody after that, you got to pay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And plus, you don't have to charge $40-50. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
You can charge 10,
Actually,
15,
do you think we could do a PC tournament like in the
well,
summer?
actually, I've been behind the scenes trying to do
That'd be dope. I think we could do that.
But we, you know who to talk to for that. Swiper, keep
Well, I'm Mr. Move. I'm Mr. Move. Every time, Drench, I just want you to know this. Matter of fact, every time something good happens to your life through PC, I just want you to know I'm behind the scenes showing love to my dog. My dog, one of them ones. Feel me? My dog, one of them big, boys. Feel me? My dog be moving weight. You see, my dog be doing this and that. That's my dog, bro. Look at my man with some numbers on that video he did. That's my dog. When we went to the 2K event, I'm like, you see Jordan out here doing work, talking to everybody, not just the women out there. That's my dog. You see my boy making money moves.
I talk to a whole bunch of women.
Hey,
that's my dog.
And I see Markivian in the chat say they're trying to profit tenfold. See, that's wrong.
No,
that's not the hustle. Chill. Buy for one, sell for two. You know what I'm saying? See, you know what I'm saying?
Chill.
The tenfold is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Chill. Let me tell you something. So for AAU, right, and I'm a coach, so I've seen weekend passes be $45 for a weekend pass, right?
Yeah,
which is crazy in itself. In the tournaments be some bullshit ass tournaments too. Gym be hot as hell, bathrooms nasty and dirty. Like
water fountains don't even work.
The AC don't work.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Water fountains don't work.
Yeah, but at the same time, I went to TABC, right, which is the largest tournament in Texas for high school players. Like it's probably over 300-400 teams there. It's in Dallas.
Where is it? Okay,
it's in Dallas. Where I went to TABC. Yeah, the tickets was like $10 to get in there, and we seeing the top kids. We seeing college coaches. I sat right next to Kelvin Sampson, U of H coach. Sat right next to him. $10, but I got to go to the
literally like he's sitting right here. Like he's sitting.
We wasn't even sitting down. We were standing up watching the game. He's right next to me.
He right here.
Shoulder to shoulder, right next to me. I'm seeing all the coaches from A&M. I'm seeing all the coaches from Cal. I saw coaches from Rice. I see all the coaches everywhere. And it's $10 to get in here, but it's $45 to go watch these bullshit ass AAU teams play that play a bad brand of basketball.
Well, that's just on the specific tournament. So I'm not gonna necessarily put that on AAU. I'm just gonna put that on that tournament director. You know what I'm saying? Like that program director, that tournament director. I think AAU should start more of a I don't know. I don't want to use the word union, but AAU should do something about making a standard. If you want to regulate it like they do in volleyball. If you want to have an AAU tournament, these are the regulations. This is what you can do. This is what you can't do. This is the minimum. This is the maximum. You know what I'm saying? I think they need to do a little bit better at controlling what they're doing. But let's keep it moving, y'all. Football Breakdown wants to know, how do I get on to expose Swiper? He's been looking for you, Swiper.
I do want to say this. I do feel like maybe PC and maybe be on the internet gives people a little bit too much more confidence than they need. I genuinely don't think that anybody actually wants to have an actual debate about like football, especially like X's and O's. I love talking football. I really do. I genuinely love talking football.
Swiper. He's not talking about football.
He's a joker.
Expose. What's he supposed to talk about?
His name might be Football Breakdown, but he wants to talk to you about Jokic.
Expose me.
He's a joker detractor.
100%. What kind of
He is
exposition is he trying to do?
Well, look,
Because
I
again,
can't speak for him, but what we will say is football breakdown. If you want to expose Swiper, become a Hall of Fame member. That goes for anybody in here. If you want to get on here tomorrow and expose anybody from Damien to Drench to Swiper to Mars to Chill to Ox to Penn to Real Talk, anybody become a Hall of Fame member. It's really simple. Really
I don't want to
simple.
argue Jokic with nobody else no more. If you think Giannis, there's nothing I can do to convince you. Real talk. But first off, Ron showed me how sick he was when he said Giannis was even better this last year. I was like, there's no way. There's just no way to have conversations with you people. And by you people, I'm talking to Ox and Ron. Those people. And I mean that with the hard you at the end of you people. I'm talking about you.
Yeah. I knew exactly who you were talking about when you said that. I am you people, and I'm always here to get cooked. So please pull up. Become a Hall of Fame member. JMC has been a member for 12 months. Thoughts on Utah? What do you guys think about the Jazz?
I think that they're going to be. I think that they're going to. I hope that they are better this year. That's what I think. I hope that they're better this year. The fact that Lauri Markkanen is making that transition right from the EuroBasket tournament, right to training camp, right to playing for the Jazz, and I'm hoping that Coach Willie. Why am I drawing a blank on his last name? Will Hardy. Will Hardy. That's what I'm thinking about. Will Hardy. I hope that he implements more action with Lauri Markkanen and put some of the stuff, because I know you ain't gonna be able to put all of it, Ox, but put some of the stuff that they do in the EuroBasket tournament and in the international game, put some of that stuff in to what the Utah Jazz are doing in their offense. And I just think that they could be better. I don't want to see them at the bottom of the league up the strength that they got a really good player in Lauri Markkanen. I've become a Lauri Markkanen fan over the summer. I've become a Lauri Markkanen fan.
So you agree with me? He should have been all NBA in 2022-23.
I said he's become a good player. I said he's become a really good player. I didn't say anything about 22-23. Nothing. When Julius Randle,
that boy averaged 26 points a game on like 65 true shooting and was averaging 10 rebounds a game and was cooking. On a Jazz team that was.
What's that mean? How's that his fault?
So we doing that with everybody then?
Okay, I saw Luka and SJ make first team all the NBA. They didn't make
which they should not have.
Yes, they should have. Yes, they should have. Yes, they should have.
Not first team.
Yes, they should have. Yes, they should have. Yes, they should have. They were that good. I don't care what you doing all this. They weren't. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than them. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than them. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than Luka Doncic and SGA. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than Luka Doncic and SGA. What does that mean? What does that mean? You just talking. You just talking. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. I ain't scared of you. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than SGA and Luka. Donovan Mitchell wasn't better than SGA and Luka.
There has never been a guy that's made first team All NBA and his team not make the playoffs.
What do you mean? There's never been. It happened twice in 1 year.
Damien. This is not.
That's not awful.
Here,
I love it.
Chill. First off, chill. You don't qualify for the playoffs on PC either, and you still get voted as one of the favorite panelists. How about that? Chill? How about that? Your playoff VORP is a negative on PC.
Really?
And you still one of people's favorite panelists.
I was in the Western Conference Finals last year.
That's the in-season tournament. I didn't say another. That's the in-season tournament.
Western Conference Finals.
That's the in-season tournament.
I was in the Western Conference. I was in the Eastern Conference.
That's the in-season tournament.
I'm
talking about the year-long MVP.
In round
one.
Where your rating at? Hey, you got bounced in round one. I've gone further than you both times. Further than you.
I would like to pull out my PC award. Hey, so chill. You ain't got one of these.
He's got it ready.
You ain't got an MVP trophy. I can hold up my MVP trophy. You know what you can't do?
Man, what
you
the
ain't
hell
holding
is
up
that?
nothing. You ain't holding up nothing.
Yeah, hell, this man swiping and put up some bullshit.
I thought he really had some hard.
It was a microphone. I had to look.
No, look, I got this as a gift. It's a Bluetooth. It's a Bluetooth card somebody gave me in Puerto Rico. This is nice, ain't it?
You got that shit from when you joined, when you signed up for the military. They gave you a Camaro. They gave you a Camaro with your pension plan. You signed up for the military.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay,
back to the question. My thing on the Jazz is, what are they doing in the front court? Lauri Markkanen, Walker Kessler, Yusuf Nurkic, Kyle Filipkowski, Kevin Love.
And the other dude they drafted who was hurt, number 9 overall.
Wait, I thought Kevin Love got bought out. Am I tripping?
He's not officially. They're working towards a buyout, but I mean, Kyle Anderson can play some front court. Like, what's going on in the front court?
I think Filipowski, Walker Kessler, Lloyd Markkinen. I think they got a good thing going on.
Mm-hmm. He had a great summer league as well.
Yeah.
They drafted at the number 9 pick. The Jazz took
the kid from Florida.
At the number 9 pick, that was the kid Murray Boyles, Colin Murray Boyles.
He went to the Raptors though.
Yeah, he's with the Raptors.
They got the Jazz got
Ace Bailey.
They got Ace Bailey at 5.
Ace Bailey, and then the guard from Florida.
Yeah, what is his name? Walter Clayton.
Walter Clayton, yeah.
Walter Clayton. Yeah, they got him.
Yeah.
I mean,
And they still got Isaiah Collier.
Utah got a lot of shit going on, to be honest with you. I just feel like whenever they decide they're gonna play some winning basketball, they probably could be better. Like, cut all this analytics bullshit out.
They got talent, don't they, Jay?
They got some talent. You know what they got to do? You know who would be a good coach for them? Doc Rivers. Like, Doc Rivers can get that team to play way better than they play. Like, Doc is really good without superstars. You put a superstar on, now sometimes you fuck it up. But I remember when Doc was with the Clippers.
Yeah,
and they had Danilo Gallinari, Lou Will, Tobias Harris. Pat
then they win 48 games that year, something like that.
They was rolling.
Shout out Doc Rivers praise. I always love to hear Doc Rivers.
Yeah, Doc did his damn thing, and then they messed their roster up by trading Shea and got PG and Kawhi and all that other shit. And that
they became a better basketball team. Jordan.
Sure, I mean they ain't really play that much, but at the same time,
they became a much better basketball team.
I mean, they ain't really play that much, so you can't really say that.
Exactly. If Leonard would have played,
they still became a much better basketball team.
From a talent standpoint, yes, they did.
They lost from the first round again, right?
Yeah, that year, yeah, but they became a much better basketball team. I don't think anybody.
But to Jordan's point, what is that? If we stick with that crew, Jordan, right? If we stick with that crew,
SGA don't become this player without Chris Paul. So, okay, let's keep it moving.
Maybe so. I don't know. I don't know. I told y'all I broke the story before Pat Bear broke the story. I told y'all, and I need my credit for that. I told y'all what they thought about SGA day one of training camp. They thought he was always gonna be this dude.
That's a puppy with big paws. He still has to be morphed into that.
He would have became that.
When Chris Paul did that.
I don't know. LA a little different.
Patrick Beverly wasn't doing that. What Chris Paul did for SGA.
He was there with Dennis Schroder too.
But Doc Rivers, and not only Dennis Schroder, but Doc Rivers and Sam Cassell could have done that. Don't forget that was Point Guard University. Doc.
Sam Cassell and Doc, they ain't nothing close to Chris. The
made 2 6-man. Well, Lou Will was 6-man before, but Lou Will won 6-man.
That don't got nothing to do with nothing. I'm talking about Chris Paul. In the effect that Chris Paul has on teammates and franchises. What he did when he went to Phoenix, what he did when he went to OKC, what he's been doing all his career.
Why he ain't do it in Golden State?
It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry don't need no help.
Oh man.
What are you?
Come on, you can't do that. If you gonna name them, I can name why he ain't do it in San Antonio.
Actually, San Antonio.
He was all right in San Antonio.
Stephon Castle became a much better player with Chris Paul.
That was his first year playing. How you know he became a much better player? You don't know he's gonna be a much better player this year. I'm just saying.
All right, but Chris Paul undoubtedly taught that young fella some things. I guarantee it. But y'all, we do got to get out of here on time today because I am a W host, and that's what I do. Let's get through these super chats. Medved said New York prosecutors dropped the investigation. Malik probably going to the Knicks. LOL. Shout out to MPJ's brother Jonte, who got a lifetime ban.
You talking about for Malik Beasley? They dropped the investigation. Yeah, but I thought the feds.
The NBA is investigating still.
Yeah,
he's still facing an investigation though.
Yeah, he'll be good on the Knicks.
But I'm just saying he needs some bread. He need to get his bread back. He need to come to a team where we got generous players who's willing to give him a couple M's to loan him until he can get his feet back wet. So the Rockets,
right? Ox, I'm
not loaning no gambler no money.
Hey,
if you're a gambler, you can't ask me for it.
Hey, I can loan him the bread. He come to Houston. We got KD over here who a billionaire. We got Fred VanVleet who been getting crazy bread. Together they can everybody can put up
Ox, does he not know how this works? If he owns Loan Shark or the MOB money and I give him money, then when he gets in a bind, not paying them, you know who they're gonna come after.
Yeah, you're gonna lose a finger.
Say,
You're gonna
you
lose a
want your
finger.
friend-
You're gonna lose a
if
finger.
that's exactly how it works. If you want your friend to live, I need 5 M's right now.
He don't owe
Hey,
none of
Swipe,
this money.
you know
Don't
what I
have
tell
no
him,
money.
Swipe?
How you know, Jordan? You act like you know. You don't
I
know.
just know they said he don't have no money. He can't pay.
And who he owe the money to?
But that's his
He
problem.
mismanaged his money. I don't know
That's
nothing
his
about no
problem,
mob.
Jordan.
Yeah, and so who you get? And Ox, if you got to get an off the books loan, you ain't calling on Wells Fargo. You know who you calling? Vito Corleone. That's who you calling for an off the books.
At like
But
40%,
my thing is,
Damien.
my
At
thing is, I'm not
40% on the
I'm
dollar.
not
That's
giving,
where we
I'm not
at.
giving, I'm not giving you no money because when they catch up with you,
No,
you
'cause
can't
you know what? No.
call me because you know all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say is
You're gonna wake up. You're gonna take the covers off, and then you're gonna look. There's gonna be a dead fish head right in your bed. I'm like,
swipe it.
I'm
Look. It's
I'm
simple
straight.
as this. It's as simple as this. Don't call my phone because if he gotta go, he gotta go. No, I ain't getting involved.
Look.
Hell
Ox,
no.
but
That's his
look,
deal, bro.
I'm
Now,
wait.
under the
shit
impression.
together.
Jordan, would you rather owe the federal government money or the mob?
The
I don't play
government
with the feds.
Government.
I
The
don't play with
government.
the feds.
every time.
Crazy
Come
as
and
hell,
get your
boy.
money.
The feds is the mob. Boy, y'all tripping. So hold on. But listen, I'm gonna tell y'all this. I'm under the impression that he didn't gamble his money away. I'm just saying.
Oh hell!
I'm just saying he missed. Hey, whatever y'all want to speculate, that's on y'all. I'm gonna go by the book. The book says he behind on rent. He getting sued. So
Then he was just tricking it off.
possibly he dated.
I'd rather
gamble.
gamble. I'd rather gamble than trick. I'd rather
That's
go.
you,
I'd rather lose $1 million.
Wait, Jordan, you said you gonna make some shake to get your money back?
I know that.
Oh, that's crazy. If he's cleared of these gambling things, I don't want to put more gambling charges on him. I'm just gonna toss it up to where he tricked his money off or he mismanaged his money. I know Kevin Durant got $1 billion. So give brother
What you bring my name into this for?
Man, KD don't got nothing to do with this. That's not his
I'm giving you no
responsibility.
money.
That's
He
a
coming to
grown-ass
Houston.
man.
We need. Look, we got to tell him, bro. You come to Houston, you shoot 42%.
No.
And we gonna get your bread back the next year. We gonna give you that $42 million next year.
Did for Kawhi. Pay him off the books through your cousin and them and sign a $2 million check.
All them casinos, all them goddamn casinos in goddamn Denver. Hell no. Ain't no casinos out here. He shoot 40. Look, he take the vet minimum. They pay him $1.6 million. All that's gone. That's wiped away. He ain't got that salary. They taking that shit off the rip.
I ain't giving no gambler no money.
But we can give him some charity money.
No taxes. No taxes.
No taxes. And guess what? He shoot well. They
No,
gonna
you
give him
know
the
who
same
he sound
bread
like?
next year.
Jordan, you sound like Franklin Saint at the end of Snowfall when he was asking for some money from his dog. I just need $3 million. Just give all the stuff I've done for you. I need $3 million. He like, Brian, give me that money. I love you, my dog. You ain't getting no $3 million from me. And he ended the show just like this.
Bro, they need to. First of all, that's not how that works. I know the real story.
Chill, just
I'm not gonna expound on that, but we gotta
keep going though, y'all. We gotta keep going. But man, I advise y'all to don't be giving no gambler no money. Okay. 989 Michi. Detroit can bring Malik back, I think. He just moved back into his Detroit apartment too.
Hell no, he didn't move back in that apartment. Not all that bread. He all that motherfucking goes locked. Fuck no, he moved back.
I think it was like 21. I
Well,
think it was
shit
like
on the
21,000.
front.
Wait, how do you live somewhere for 12 months and then they don't send you a notice? Like you get evicted after 6, don't you?
You can't just kick nobody out no more. It's a process.
Yeah, if he was in California, he'd still be in there.
Yeah, he'll be in there for another 4 years.
Oh, if he was in California, he'd be in there right now. Guarantee.
Bro, in California, you damn near gotta be in like the hole for like 700,000 for them to take you home. Like
that's why in California, if you got something, you don't call them, you just go get them out your house.
Man, they said he paid him. Look, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna get there. I don't know when. $27,000 gonna be pocket change for me one day. I'm gonna buy all Jordan stuff from him. All of it.
So
all of it.
Go ahead.
It's for sale, brother. It's for sale. What you want?
Hey, boy, you ain't gotta wait one day, motherfucker. We get on the phone today. I'll sell it all to you, big dog.
Hey, Jordan. When he come buying some stuff from you, I'm gonna send you my stuff, and you on consignment. Go ahead and get that off.
That's cool. I take my cut. I ain't tripping.
Yeah,
hey, bro,
I got 50%.
So ain't no issue. I say everything you need, boy. I can start over. I don't mind starting over.
Before we go, I need to remind y'all of two things. First, I want to remind y'all that tonight we will be on Playback TV doing Throwback Thursdays as we do every Thursday. I don't know the game, but if I'm not mistaken, I think Penn chose. So y'all come and check it out. I guarantee it's Arvydas Sabonis out here in Portland doing this thing. Next, remind y'all that tomorrow we are doing the PCL draft. These are your PCL captains this season 3. Tomorrow will be the draft. If you want to take another look at it, here is the draft pool right here from the panelists to choose. We got Penn, Joel, Real Talk, Dion from Ohio, Gifted, ZZ Hayes, Sports Fluent, Mustard, Matty Ice, Jay, and Pirate. Oh, I should have said Mustard. Damn, I dropped the ball on that one. But also another thing, I said I had 2 things, but I got 3. Chill with Chill will be on in just 2 hours. Y'all don't miss it. Don't be late. Other than that, we'll see you here tomorrow. Same place, same time, same crew. Take care of yourself, y'all. Peace.
Later.
Later, hater.
Absolutely. Good to see y'all.